Hey, remember when Joe Swanson crying? Oh, hey everyone.
Hey everybody.
Hey Peter. Welcome back to the
welcome back to the Snark Tank podcast, episode 48. I don't know how many of these have we done?
48? That's crazy. We're at like 143, I think.
That's fucking that's 143
crazy. Or 145.
So, 142.
Okay,
welcome to episode 199 of the Snark Tank podcast. You'll never fucking know what this is. You'll never have it unless you're reading the title of this. Even then, we might lie to you. In fact,
we lie.
Derek, in fact, when we upload this episode, call it episode 200 and then continue on.
Don't do that. Don't do that and confuse the fuck out of people.
I love the idea. It's probably a bad idea, but I don't know. It makes me chuckle.
It would
be funny, but it would not be helpful at all.
Yeah, it would just be funny for me exclusively. But welcome back to the show. Obviously, this is whatever it is we do. I feel like, you know what's weird? I feel like it's been a while since I've actually introduced this show because we usually
just start talking about bullshit lately.
Yeah, because we usually just immediately launch into a fucking. You guys had like a suggestion before we. There's something that we really, really want to talk about today, and we have to. We absolutely have to do it. By the way, just before everybody gets fucking pissed, I know you knew this already when you clicked on this episode. There's going to be a slightly shorter one. I have a meeting for LASIK that I have to kind of get done, so this will be slightly shorter. But don't worry, I'm going to be back, and I'm going to be blind. Because I'm gonna intentionally, what I'm gonna do is, because a friend of mine said it's actually like a really simple procedure. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, like, when the laser, I'm not having the surgery, by the way. I'm just going to make sure that I can do it. But when I do the surgery, I'm gonna shake my head real fast while the laser is just to see like how good this technology is. I'm gonna run like a little test.
It's gonna be like that scene in Dead Space 2.
Yeah. I always think of that scene.
Yeah.
You gotta move. You gotta move your head and get away from the laser.
That is an iconic scene.
I just killed him over and over and over again because it was fucking funny.
Yo. By the way,
I didn't die. I didn't die that way, and I found out later on what happens, and I was like, "Fuck." I'm glad I didn't die.
Like, what's up?
I'm actually glad this came up. Dead Space Remake is fucking amazing. It is fucking incredible. Like
I'm gonna get it tomorrow.
I actually can't get over how good it is. I'm actually like so stunned by it because, like, obviously the Callisto Protocol was kind of like I liked it, but it wasn't nearly as good as it should have been. There's been a lot of disappointing games lately, but like that Hi-Fi Rush game that came out of nowhere out of Tango is fucking sick, and now this Dead Space Remake is fucking another, like, unquestionably miles better than the original Dead Space, like by a lot.
Bro, that's saying a lot. I recently played Dead Space 1, and it's a good game. Don't get me wrong, it's a good game.
How's the ratio, like, say, compared to original Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil Remake?
There you go.
Would you put it on the same level?
I would sincerely. It is easily a contender for like one of the best remakes of like all time. Like, sincerely,
all right.
It is. I wouldn't say it's like as shocking as Resident Evil 2 because Resident Evil 2 obviously had a lot more to improve on.
Fucking long ago.
Yeah, it came out so long ago. So like they actually have Dead Space Remake is definitely like more of it's more faithful to the original, but at the same time, like, they've done so, like, all of the everything that was even remotely not good about the original Dead Space, stuff like the boss fights and the turret sections, they're all like amazing now. Like, they're highlights of the game.
That's insane. I can't wait.
So like there's like there were like zero gravity parts, right, that were like kind of annoying because you had to like aim at a wall and then like jump. But now it uses like Dead Space 2's zero G, so you can like float around and fly, and it makes all of those sections that were like really fucking irritating way cooler. And like the Ishimura is like fully explorable. There's no like Like, there's no like.
Oh, really? You can put on Tai Ishimura?
Yeah, you can like if you're like at the last level, you could go all the way back to the dock. It reminds me of it's like Resident Evil 2. It's like the mansion. It's like it's this place that it loads in the beginning and then never loads again. It's like seamless. You don't need the tram to get from point A to point B. There's like side missions and it's fucking awesome.
Wait,
like,
Derek, can you go back to the entrance of the precinct? Towards the end of the game, Resident Evil 2?
Well,
no, right?
Well, towards
at
the
a certain
end of
point,
it
you're
now.
locked downstairs, right?
At a certain in Resident Evil 2 remake,
You're locked downstairs.
But what I mean is like just the entire ship is up until like obviously
I'm gonna get it.
There's always a point in a game where there's like there's a point of no return. You're getting to the end. So
obviously, yeah, for sure. They're like, hey, you can't go back. Obviously, yada yada.
But I'm just fucking blown. I couldn't believe it.
What the hell?
Everything's all right?
Definitely.
I have Dead Space 2 on Steam. What the fuck? I thought I had both. Huh. Oh,
don't bother with it. The first one.
The
first one's so
I
much
just kind of
worse
wanted
now.
to go. I wanted to have. I guess I'll just watch videos to have. You gave me a good breakdown, and I'll just watch a video. I guess.
Yeah.
You're not gonna play it?
Well, no. I mean, like playing the original, like playing
versus.
Because I love doing that. I love playing the original versus what's new, so I can feel it. But I'm like, okay, I thought I already had it in my Steam library. Apparently, I don't. So
I have 1 and 2 on Steam. Streaming
have
those games is horrible. OBS and those games are not compatible at all.
Yeah.
Same with KOTOR. You have to play KOTOR on console. Or else it'll be horrible.
The console version is the most reliable. The most reliable one.
I definitely had to patch it up to get it to run fine on Steam. Yeah.
Is that game still coming out? Is that or is that not happening anymore?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That makes me so sad.
Let's look it up if there's any news.
I have it on good authority that it will still happen, but it's way far out. It's nowhere near done. So forget about it now and be pleasantly surprised when it shows up again if it does.
That makes me so sad, bro. I was so excited. I went back and I beat 1 just because of that game coming out again. And it's crazy how you think 1 is a good game until you put on a modern game. Like, you think it's you're like, oh, KOTOR, I'm building my lightsaber. I'm making my mesh armor. This is pretty cool.
Look, let me I will say, right. No. I'm going to push back against this because I have no nostalgia for Star Wars at all. I don't even particularly like BioWare games that much outside of I don't like Dragon Age. I'm not
really?
For me it's like Mass Effect is those are the only BioWare games that I really jived with. I don't have nostalgia for Star Wars. I got pretty deep into KOTOR and enjoyed it, despite the fact that it was completely.
KOTOR is a great video game.
That if there was ever an elderly video game, it's that one. It's not like Mario on the NES. It's not like I don't know, like an early PS1 platform like Bubsy 3D or something. KOTOR is elderly. It feels elderly. It feels like a fucking licensed Animorphs game sometimes. It is.
Look, it is a great video game in quality, but graphics and play, it's just
it's rough to play now.
This is old. This is definitely old, but I love it. I can play that game for hours without stopping.
I feel like KOTOR is the kind of game if you were to play it now, you have to really appreciate video games to even remotely enjoy it. I think the only reason I even got remotely far in KOTOR recently is because I just appreciate game design and I understand the full scope of limitations of that time, and you cannot put KOTOR in front of a 7-year-old. He is going to vomit uncontrollably.
It's gonna be like a punishment.
Or he'll have such a huge misconception about video games.
Yeah, he'll be like, "What the fuck?"
The only video game you ever played is KOTOR as a 22-year-old now. You'll be like, "I played KOTOR," and it's
he's like, "This is
games look better." He's like, "That's impossible."
What do old 3D games look like to the youth now? I wonder how they see it through their eyes.
I don't know. It's weird because I look at
do they see that shit and they're like,
because we saw the evolution.
Say if you showed a kid, say you show a 12-year-old Tekken 3, are they going to be like, what the fuck am I looking at? Are they going to be what is this? Why do they look like fucking cardboard boxes?
Sweeney and I are a little younger than you, but I feel when we were young, we had we kind of came into it during 3D. I think 3D was pretty common by the time that we were like of the age to really start thinking about like what the hell we were absorbing and like
definitely.
And I
did
I
like
could look
PS1
at old
games to you look? Did they look good to you when you were a kid?
Yeah.
PS1 games, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see, you're still young.
They
enough
didn't
to
look
where
good.
PS2
They looked amazing. They looked unbelievable.
So yeah,
to me.
you guys are still at the age where. So I'm thinking of someone who, someone who's fucking in grade school now that for sure did not grow up with that shit. Like their parents had to show it.
Someone sees Lara Croft and they start vomiting.
Yeah,
what's wrong with her?
They probably laugh seeing Lara Croft and being like, "This is stupid."
They look at it like they look at it like we look at Atari games. That would break my heart. That would if someone looked at something like Tekken 3 or like I don't know, like Spyro, like Ripto's Rage or something, and they looked at that like I looked at fucking Custer's Revenge on
like
Atari.
Fucking Frogger.
Yeah. Like if they looked at it
fucking Bomberman, and you're like, what is this?
That would be so sad.
I'm old enough to where I remember playing the official X-Men game on Nintendo on NES and thinking this shit looked pretty dope, and I looked at it now and I'm like, I can barely tell that's Wolverine. Like when I look at it now, it's so funny where I'm like, I remember playing Commando and that shit looked dope. And now and then I'm just like, wait, I am still fascinated. I'll never not be fascinated.
For me, it was jarring because the PS2 to PS3 era. I remember playing I remember like playing my first like Gen 3 or 4, were they 3? Gen 3 consoles game was Dead Rising. I remember playing Dead Rising for like a whole summer, so engrossed in it. Then I went back and I played like Shadow of Colossus. And I was like, what the fuck? This looked good 3 months ago. What happened?
3 months.
3 months ago, this looked good.
That was a stupid
when you play like
that was an insane leap though at the time.
Like that's a fucking arguably. Was that the best one you think, or would you?
I think so. I think that was the best.
2,000%.
I think unquestionably, just the. I talked about this on one of Colin's shows too, but like just like the jump from that like PS2, Xbox to Xbox 360, PS3, that was fucking nuts. Because that was like because not only did things like look like things still like the original Dead Space still looks really fucking good still. Like it looks obviously old, but it's far from unplayable as far as like
the problem is the textures. If anything, it's just the textures.
And even that, it's like I remember I remember playing Gears of War and being like, this is fucking ridiculous. I don't even understand how this is possible. I was just playing fucking I don't even know the dumbest shit on PS2. Like, it's like it looks like Candyland or something, and then all of a sudden, here's Gears of War 2, or like that was so not only graphically, but just like the fact that there was a home screen, like a dashboard and like a marketplace and like demos, and the controllers were wireless and it connected to the fucking internet, and eventually you could like stream Netflix on it, and that's like how you would like unquestionably that was like the biggest leap that we have had and probably ever will have. I think sincerely, like I don't think we'll ever have one generation to the next like that. Like I don't think the PS6 to the PS5 will be even remotely as big as the PS2 to the PS3. I just don't think so. It's not. I don't think it's possible.
Unless VR should become super common. No,
but
even that's the same.
We're kind of like reaching limits of. I feel like the only thing you can really do is just the TVs are going to get bigger, and then I feel like the graphics are going to improve enough to where it still looks good on an insanely massive television. Because, if you look like... I remember I had a 17-inch... I had a very small TV that I had a 43-inch and I had a very small one. It was under 20 inches. I would play Skyrim on Xbox 360 on the small one, and it looked so fucking gorgeous, because it's so compacted. And it looked like shit on my 43-inch. And so I feel like just the graphics, everything's just the resolution, everything's just going to get to a point where you're not going to notice the difference that much because everything's getting bigger. And so, like, if you play, I imagine if you play, like, if I played a PS5 on the type of monitor that I have right now in my PC, which is like 20-something inches, I can't even imagine how gorgeous it would look compared to playing it on the 55-inch in my room. I just feel like it's going to be so, like, it's bare. Let me ask you this. How do you feel about the jump from PS4 Pro to PS5? Like, was it significant to you?
Not
like in performance. Really? In performance, not in visual quality.
Yeah,
performance. It was
the reason why. So the SSD is huge, obviously, and the fact that like most games are 60 is like really game changing as far as like console goes. But at the same time, it's like again that PS2 to PS3 is like that was more than just graphics. That was like the way that we interact with these machines. Like, I watch Netflix. 100%. I watch all my shows. I play all of my music through my fucking console. If I'm outside, obviously I'm using my phone. But, like, if I'm home, like, my console is the thing that I use for fucking everything. Like, I send messages through it. All of that, like, that is such a fundamental shift.
It's crazy.
And that started, thing. That is not different from the PS4. That's not different from the PS3. It's the same exact fucking system that started there. And so for me, it's like, yeah, the SSD is cool and having like no loading is really cool, but ultimately it just makes the games better. It doesn't fundamentally shift like how we interact with it in the same way that the NES has more in common with the PS2 than the PS2 has with the PS3. I feel absolutely confident saying that.
I mean, whatever. I don't really have a.
I can't argue that. Like, I can't argue that. But at the same time, like, that wouldn't surprise me slightly. That wouldn't surprise me. I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I guess
because the PS3 was a fucking computer. That's what it was.
That's true.
Like the PS3 was a fucking
the PS2
computer.
Was trying to be a computer,
and the PS2 was an NES that played DVDs. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was still a games machine. When you weren't playing games, you weren't using it. It served no purpose if you weren't playing a game. Maybe you could like. I don't know, maybe burn a CD on it. I know you could do that with the PS1 if you modded it. But, like...
Remember, were you in just that time we were in Manhattan where we saw all of the fucking modded PS2s or PS1s? And you were like, yeah, I have one. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I have a... Yeah,
why do you just have one of those?
Because
why do you just have one of those? You were like, yeah, I have one.
Because there was a guy in my building, I think his name was Ben. He lived on the 6th floor. We lived on the 3rd. So he was obviously king of the building. And he was friends with my parents. And so like they would just like come over sometimes, and he was like, I guess he was like into computer programming, and I had a PS1. He was like, yo, I could do something crazy for your PS1. I could make it so you can get games from Blockbuster, burn them on your PC, burn them on a blank CD-ROM or whatever, and then you'll have the game, and then you could just return it. And I was like, so you're gonna help me steal? And he's like, yeah. And my parents didn't have a problem with this, I guess, because I don't even think they understood the concept of video games, really. So they were just like, I don't give a shit if you steal these. Like, what? Who cares? And so, like, he modded my PS1, and it still works to this day. Like, I can, like, get a disc. It's easy way now, because you could just get ROMs on the internet and, like, download them and burn them onto a CD-ROM and then, like, play them on a PS1, and then I have an original, authentic copy. It's fucking dope. But,
there was a trick. There was a trick that my PS1 was not modded, but I remember there was a little something that would need to close. It needed to go inside this hole that like it was somehow authenticated. So I can't remember what it was exactly, but it was as long as you had that engaged, it like bypassed and I was able to play burned games. I don't remember what it was. It was so long ago, but it was basically the part was open. You know, the part that opens and shuts it. So you kept that open, then you engaged one of the things, and it somehow bypassed, and I was able to play, like, I had all these fucking, I had some Dragon Ball Z type shit and all this stuff that, you know, was completely in Japanese. I had fucking hard to navigate the menus and stuff. But
those were dope, bro.
I'd probably look it up on YouTube because I can't remember exactly what the fuck we did, but it worked. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's literally all he did. He just put like a thing over, like, you know, but
he just did something.
Yeah, because I had an original, like, launch PS1. Like I remember because there was like a difference between them. Like I think the later ones had the disc laser on the top or something. It was like I can't remember. It was like a very specific thing. But yeah, it's anyway. Dead Space is fucking dope. We were gonna talk about something specifically before we got into what we really wanted to talk about, and I kind of forgot what that was.
We were going to talk about the Last of Our...
Oh, right. The Last of Us show.
The Vast Bust.
The Last of
The
Us.
Last
of Us.
I like that a lot. That's a good porn.
3 days out, he's still edging himself.
He's still.
It's fucking hate. It's been 20 years.
You guys, so all of you, 20 years later, Joel's just holding on.
The condition when he comes, he's gonna die.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine gooning for 20 years? That is insane.
You would die.
Legendary. That's legendary.
That's all. But like, how do you live? You know, because you gotta eat, you gotta work. You know, you got things to do. You know,
You're a feral
so if
person.
you have like 20 years to just goon straight, and since you're gooning, you don't feel hungry because you're about to come. So all of your facilities have just been in stasis pretty much.
Do you think that's what Gollum was doing the whole time? He was just gooning to the ring. And he was like, I'm so close to the ring.
Well, he's a hobbit, so hobbits live a long time.
And he did that for so long that he became so skinny and so small.
He became so thin. Well, he's a hobbit. He's
smaller than the hobbits, though.
No, he's not. He's just bent and contorted. Gollum's a hobbit.
You know what's crazy to me about Gollum? Like that none of that CG. That's just that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
You've never seen the footage?
The idea of that walking out on his set. There's like, hey Gollum, here's your lines. He's like, all right, thank you. He gets a cup of coffee. All right, let me get in there. And he goes in there, and everyone is not immediately vomiting at the sight of him.
Can you imagine running into
mind blowing?
Can you imagine running into a like a standing upright Gollum in like kind of like casual wear at like a Ralph's, like an unemployed actor? Like you're just like he's looking at
Gollum.
He's looking at like refried beans or something. He's like, I don't know if I need these. And it's like that's
Gollum looks like a late. This is gonna sound horrible, but Gollum looks like a late game drug addict. You know when they're just about out the door. You know,
when
absolutely. It's like almost over, and it's just like.
He looks like a small version.
Go get high a few more times, man. You know.
He looks like a small version of those living mummies in like India who are like 100. Like you ever see those videos on Twitter or whatever of like it's like this guy's 128 and he looks like like a mummified bogman.
There was this Thai guy that dude, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my fucking life.
That's not the most disgusting thing for me at all.
Oh yes, it is. Absolutely.
But it's sad almost. Like just let him die.
No, it's disgusting. No, I mean like for sure. Being alive at that point is absolute torture. There's no reason to be alive.
And then you
die.
What if you make it a few more years?
No, but
and that's how your ghost looks.
That's your ghost now. Like you've pushed far. Like you've gone too far.
You go to paradise looking like that. You go to paradise looking like you've been.
I don't know. Like I don't know. Like
you're a fucking s'more.
What if you keep making it and then eventually they make a thing that can cure, that can like rehydrate you, and you're like, oh, thank God.
Did you see that they fucking?
I'm back.
Did you see that they actually like figured that out sincerely, actually for real?
What?
There's like actual scientists that have actually like sincerely figured out how to like reliably and like often reverse the aging process. Like actually.
What do you mean? Like de-age?
Well, I guess it's more like halting, but I think it is like I'm not a scientist. I don't know the specific words, but this is actually like it's actually real. Like it's not like fake science. It's like real science actually. Like it's like a recent breakthrough. It's fucking nuts. So that's scary.
Is it like this is gonna sound stupid or me being try hard, but is it like I forgot what's meiosis or mitosis. Is it pretty much it prevents your cells from decaying?
It's
without needing the need to separate or duplicate anymore. It just halts it. Okay, they stay at the point where they are.
Look, I'm gonna butcher this. I'm gonna go off of my memory of this because to me, the outcome is more fascinating than the little facts that I don't have enough education to really
freaking out already.
But specifically, I think
you don't know what you're talking about.
I think the breakthrough specifically was they had assumed that the goal or like the way that you would stop the aging process was that you would find a way to stop cells from just decaying. Yes, you would find ways to just figured that out. But I think they found out that the problem isn't that cells decay. The problem is that cells over time
don't replenish themselves.
No, cells over time forget how to repair themselves. So over time, it's basically like they're drawing from information, and that connection to that information gets like weaker and weaker over time, and that's why things decay. And so I think the breakthrough was, okay, we're going to figure out how to reconnect, or basically like reboot your cells.
That so that way insane.
So apparently, like that's apparently real. It's fucking nuts. I don't know how. I think it's like
inevitably
it's a 52% success rate apparently, which is like way higher than.
That's unbelievable. In fact,
yeah.
I mean, inevitably, you know, like they would be able to figure out how to do things like that. It's just like, you know, hormone replacement therapy. It's like we know what needs to be done. It's basically we have these cells, and then the hormones tell them what to do.
Yeah.
So then if we put specific amounts, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's not surprising to me.
It's not crazy.
That's wild.
The second I met somebody and they told me that they were a trans man, and I was like, that's fucking crazy. That is astonishing.
That shit.
Do you remember
the first time I met a trans woman, bro?
Yeah, she's friend. Derek. Yeah, I think he has the same name.
Derek, same name. I had no idea. I just thought it was some random Italian guy.
No clue.
And that shit'll confuse you, bro. When you meet a trans woman that you straight like, no one could guess. No one could guess.
Well, specifically,
it's like, oh, that's crazy.
Did you see Sam Smith, the famous British singer?
Yeah.
So he dropped a song a few months ago.
Kate Petras, yes.
Kim Petras.
Kim Petras.
That I had no idea until because I'd covered that song. I had no idea, and I was looking up Kim's stuff, and then I saw that there was when she was 16.
She also illegally transitioned very young. She did it in Germany, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, if it was illegal, I mean, there was news stories about it. Like, there's like YouTube shit on it about it, and I was like, "This is the same fucking person." And so the whole thing is like you. And what I thought was pretty interesting was that I would have had no idea unless I went down this rabbit hole on YouTube, because I didn't see anybody talking about it. I just saw people talking about this song, like, oh, this song's kind of good, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should cover it, and it's seamlessly, just like, oh yeah, that's the woman.
That for her it was crazy.
What y'all talking about? You know?
Also, the person that's her manager, is the person that did all the assaulting of Kesha, and then moved to Germany, found Kim, became her manager.
How do you know about this? How do you know about this?
Because I was a fan of Kim Petras because when I worked at Starbucks, one of my gay coworkers put me onto it when I was maybe 24, maybe 23. And he put me on to her, and I was like, yo, she makes hella good music. So I started listening to her. That's like my Euro trance era of music, I guess. And I was just like, yo, she makes hella dope music, bro.
That's crazy. I never heard of her until this
crazy
Sam
man.
Smith thing.
The music I listen to is insane, bro. Y'all be like, what the fuck are you listening to?
I can tell. Just because you're like, oh, I know things about this person. I'm like, what?
Straight black man knowing this wild shit about fucking this European trance artist. Bro, the world's crazy, man.
That's pretty base, man.
Yeah,
in the good way, not the racist way.
It's not based in red pill.
It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise. The second I saw that though, I was like, yeah, okay, well, we're gonna figure out all sorts of
everything soon.
Yeah, we're gonna how to live for very uncomfortably. I keep discussing with anytime this subject comes up when people say like, oh, like I don't want to get old and decrepit and all this shit, and I say this all the time that old people of today are a dying breed. They're gonna be gone. Like this is the last old people are I'm very confident in the by the time we're old, by the time we're like say in the next 40, 50 years, we're not gonna look like
we're gonna look we're gonna look way better, sincerely.
Our elderly is our 70 and 80 is gonna be the 50 and 60.
That's already kind of
or maybe even 40s.
Dude, my dad's in his 70s and he's, he doesn't even look remotely as old. Like my grandmother, when she was in her 60s, looked significantly older than my dad does. Dude. A decade. It's kind of insane.
Even right now, look at our parents. Our parents at our age look like grown ass adults. Like,
well, wasn't there like a whole thing?
Grown people.
Yeah,
and then it's like us. We don't look like that. We still have, and it's like the idea you dress differently. Like,
yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of things that go into it.
There's other things.
But it's in general like things. Obviously, we don't do the manual labor that most of our parents, did growing up, and that definitely has a lot of effect on you.
Look.
But you'll see.
Look. My dad went to war. He should look a lot worse. Like it is staggering to me. But yeah, no. I mean, you know what's? I don't know. This is kind of getting sidetracked, but
completely.
Specifically like the weirdness around the trans stuff confused me, because I remember being a kid and being so excited to get like robot arms and shit. Yeah. You know,
like, you mean transhumanism or transitioning like sexually?
Well,
those are two different things. Unfortunately,
no, but to me, they're not really. That's what I mean. Like, to me, it's like the same situation. Like, if you want to go from like a man to a woman or a woman to a man, like that to me is like very, very not that much different to like, oh, I want like, my legs to be robots.
I know it's like not different. It's because it is an improvement. It is an improvement. You're seeing it as yourself as an improvement.
Well, I mean, that's Chris, that's how both of them see that. That's what I mean. It's
right, exactly.
Chris, yeah. I agree with your sentiment, right? Because it's supposed to be like, that's not it's no deal. But what happens is that the problem comes from these idiotic people that follow these books that are clearly fake for the past.
Well, no.
But they have these arguments against it because there's
I don't think it's a religious thing.
It has to be. There's no other way to argue.
I think there's overlap, but I don't think it has. Like,
there's social questions too, I guess, but they're dumb.
Because what I mean is like there's nothing in religion specific. Like they would have no way of predicting that this would even be remotely possible. So there's no doctrine that says anything about
I disagree.
Trans women. You know what I mean? Like that's not.
Maybe not directly, but it's the idea of like.
Well, they they do have. There's a lot of old shit, and especially in the Old Testament.
There's probably some way to extrapolate off of it.
There's issues with men wearing women's clothing.
That's what it is. Yeah,
which is also hilarious because Jesus, the way that Jesus dressed and the way he kept himself, it was basically would be sinful. And they worship this guy. So there's a bunch of contradictions. Get into that. But like they will grab something. They'll grab Leviticus, for example.
They'll grab a piece of it. They won't grab the whole thing.
Right.
They'll grab a piece
there's
of
always
it.
something. And then, but I gotta say, modern day people who aren't, say, very religious, like say conservative people who aren't very religious. There's a lot of modern day people that aren't extremely religious. They try to pretend to be or whatever the case is. But really, I think it's just like anything else, like racism, anything. It's always just being afraid of the unknown. They're just like so ignorant and so like, oh, this is weird and icky and different, and they don't know until 100%. Until like say that's why like you have a lot of people in the army that when they started having to work with like black soldiers or whatnot, and they're like, oh, this guy he's just like me, he just looks a little different, and then
it's exposure. I think.
That. Yeah, the exposure. Now you're not ignorant to it anymore because your pappy can't tell you how scary these darkies are.
Speaking of
pappies.
Speaking of being
weird.
Speaking of being weird about stuff that really is like not even remotely surprising. So The Last of Us is a television show now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much.
And it's pretty good. It's not bad at all. Like I thought the first two episodes were. I thought the first two episodes were fine. I thought they were like entirely like the first one I think did a great job at like introducing it. They did a really good job. They did a great shot for shot kind of recreation of certain things. I was like, this is really cool. Second episode I thought was kind of like it's fine. It's fine. It's not bad.
I thought it was good. The second episode. So spoilers, guys. Spoiler alert.
No. Let's not do a spoiler cast for the last. I'm not going to do that. But we should talk about this last episode because this last episode is about Bill. And if anybody played The Last of Us, guys, I don't even like The Last of Us. I think it's fine. I think it's entirely good. I played it once and I never played it again because that was all I needed. Like it was entirely good. Right. And then I moved on.
I would go as far to say it's great. That's why it's a great game.
I would.
Great story. Great creation.
I don't know if I would put it in
replay value for me.
Absolutely doesn't. No.
I would put it maybe top. Maybe top 20.
Top 20 what? Like
I'll put it in top 10 for story, gameplay, like game needs replay value for me for it
top
to be
20 games. I'd put it top 20. That's a fair place.
I'd put it top 20. I wouldn't put it in top 10 personally, but like I would put it in top 20. And I think because it is cool what it does. However, I think the show is making a pretty good case that it didn't need to be a game in the first place. And so
I agree with that. Actually,
yeah, probably.
So this last episode's about Bill, and if anybody played The Last of Us, they know Bill is gay. It's not even
sucked. Bill sucked in the game. He sucked. We all agree that he fucking sucked. Please, let's not hide and dance around this.
I mean, they didn't shy away from him sucking in this fucking show.
No, he didn't. He didn't really. In the game, he was shit. He sucked. I was like, this guy's ass. I hope he dies. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
Yeah, but you don't have heart.
I have a ton of heart,
but
I just think this guy sucks.
No, I think
this guy's an asshole.
You have a ton of heart murmurs, probably, but you don't have a ton of heart.
I mean, Bill is an asshole in the show too. He's an
a dick in the show. He's not nearly. It's not played up as much. Obviously, the show deviates significantly. We're not gonna spoil it here because it actually is a good episode, and I would actually sincerely recommend that people watch it, even if. I honestly think it holds up even if you haven't been watching the show. I think I honestly as like a standalone kind of because it is very self-contained in comparison to like the
100%.
previous episode. So check out The Last of Us episode 3. It's pretty fucking good, but it deviates significantly from the game. It shows a lot more about Bill, and obviously it gets into Bill and Frank's relationship, and it shows it.
Yeah,
and. I guess people just only now realize. Like I saw somebody I saw a tweet that was recently. I was like, I can't believe they made Bill gay, and I'm just like, you are out of your fucking mind. There's literally a scene in the game where Ellie's she steals a gay porn magazine from his house. Like.
But he literally refers to his partner. Like, actually, when him and Joel are arguing, he refers to his partner in that moment.
Look, this is how I feel like some people are so... It just shows you... It's a testament to how ignorant some people are. Like, they don't... They are completely intolerant for no reason. Because they were totally fine with Bill as a character. That it's not screaming. He didn't, like... Bill in the video game did not... dive onto someone's penis, and then they didn't make it like scream out loud where it was just subtle but obvious enough. It was obvious to people who aren't completely brain dead.
People with basic media literacy abilities were able to pick up that he was very clearly gay, and they really they kind of beat it over the head with like they don't when you meet him, but after you meet him, they beat it. They beat that into your head. Like she stole a gay porn magazine from his house.
They want to make sure he's gay, but they also are not just saying, hey, queer, not like, or some type of. It's just
he didn't have Bill the queer written on him.
Yeah.
So I guess
he's
people
dressed in like pink and has a rainbow on his fucking shirt or whatever.
Come rainbow and fart fucking unicorn. So no, he's.
I mean, but you're right, Chris. It is obviously enough. There was clearly enough to signify that yes, this character is clearly gay. And it kind of shows you maybe that two things. People are. It's like the people who watched Inception and said that shit was confusing. I feel like those are kind of the same people where there was absolutely nothing confusing about Inception, not even a little bit. And I was more confused at what people thought was confusing than actually. It's like these people that they somehow
I can't remember Inception. I saw a movie twice.
You don't need to remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember
it.
It's
just you don't need to remember it. It's just here's a stupid device that makes you infiltrate dreams. And the deeper you infiltrate in those dreams, slower time goes. That's literally it. And then the people are saying it was confusing. And I'm like, what is confusing about that? I had no idea what was confusing.
Because at the end of the movie, the dog was still spinning on its nose the whole time.
That's not
and
confusing.
We didn't know if he was in a dream or not.
The dog
was still spinning on its nose. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, why is the dog still spinning? Look, the dog's spinning. Look.
Sir,
are we watching the same movie?
Look, it's a spinning dog. Look. Can
you imagine that's what they needed to bring? You imagine that's what they needed to bring into the dream? They needed to bring a dog into the dream and spin it on its nose, and if it fell over, it was a dream, and if it didn't, you're just an abuser.
If it fell over, it was reality.
Right,
but
that's
if
what
it
I mean.
didn't, if the dog kept spinning, you're in a dream, and the dream falls apart rapidly after that.
That's what I mean.
Like, that dog's still spinning.
No, you missed the point. What I'm saying is, like, yeah, if you spin a dog in a dream, then it's a dream. But if you spin a dog on its nose in the real life, you're a fucking cruel animal.
No, you're not. You're just testing out your dog.
Yeah.
Dogs' noses are not built to carry their fucking weight.
Yes, Chris. But look, if you put your little doggy on its nose and you try to twirl it, it's gonna fall over. That's it. Its little dog fell over. You're not the worst man.
I am not having this conversation.
How do you need to be beat? That's not the worst thing to do to an animal.
No one said it's the worst thing to do, but it's still abuse.
That's a little doggy roughhousing, you know.
Well, somebody
I wouldn't go further than that
and just hit you in the head with a bat.
I wouldn't go further than that. I wouldn't go further than that. Like that's. But like you're just spinning.
Someone should beat you over the head with a dog.
Yeah,
then that'd be worse. That'd be worse than trying to spin a dog on its nose.
What are you talking about?
What? What do you mean?
Look. Anyway, so
Bill's gay.
So Bill's gay. Yeah. He has been for like. The entirety of his character.
10 years.
Fucking literally 10 years. He's been gay for 10 literal years.
Yeah. So to me, this is like a perfect showcase for how I really believe this. I really feel like a lot of the people who are complaining, and this happened with Dead Space as well. People who complain about woke shit, in parentheses, it's literally, it's all things that have been around for a really long time, and the only reason it's an issue now is because people have figured out how to make you angry and make money out of it. It's literally the only reason this is brought up. Bill's been gay for ages, and in the original Last of Us, no one cared because this was before all of this nonsense. There might have been like maybe 5 people who gave a shit.
It was even before Gamergate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was pre-game. This is 2013.
I don't even believe people are really mad at it. Like it doesn't even sound real, really.
No, but people are mad at it now because people are telling other people to be mad at it because it's a financial fucking thing. It's like they can make money.
Sounds so silly.
Think about this. You guys remember the conservatives complaining about the movie Atomic Blonde? Do you remember that?
No. What was the Atomic Blonde one?
Atomic Blonde is just this woman that just kicks ass, right? It's an action flick. It might be like a spy thriller type thing.
Oh yeah, I heard it wasn't very good.
I don't know. I didn't see it. So I can't judge it, but I saw some of the trailers of her beating the shit out of some dudes. You know, and then I saw like Crowder and them be like, "Oh, how unrealistic is this woman to do all the, like," and my brain's like,
Kill Bill.
I've watched so much media. I literally talked about that the other day because JoJo brought it up, and I was like, remember Kill Bill and like just how unrealistic that no one gave a fuck. It's culturally celebrated. There's a lot of pop culture references of Kill Bill, for example.
Yeah.
They didn't care about that. They didn't care about any other. Like they don't actually give a fuck until. Now it is profitable to bitch about everything imaginable. And I'll never forget the transition where we talked about this last time. It was probably around 2018 where I was just like, I get it now. They're literally trying to complain about anything they can get their hands on. Like anything possible. So M&M's. I saw Tucker Carlson complaining about the purple M&M, which is just a color-swapped yellow M&M, and saying, oh, it's a fat lesbian M&M or some shit. They're just making shit up. They're just making things up. They're just saying whatever they can. I'm like, bro, it's just color-swapped. It's the same. It's the peanut M&M.
Also, who gives a shit? Like, it's just like...
That's the real thing.
I know what you guys are saying, and I know, like, I know I try to keep a few degrees away from stuff like that. Because, it's not, I feel like even even viewing that bullshit is not good for your health. Yeah. It's just not good for your mental space. It's not good for your your temple, your human temple. It's not good for that. It sounds so fake that people are actually mad about it,
That's
like people are gonna have opinions about, like, obviously there are people online that are like,
I'm gonna have to stop you, man. You got to remember, and I feel like a lot of times we always fail to take a step back and remember how gullible people are when it comes to, like, say, things as simple as, like, religion. Like most people in the world have some type of belief on something, and then if they were to actually take a few seconds and think about it, how insane the thing that they believe is, like how impossible it is to believe this thing. So then it's not such a stretch to believe that somebody is upset about a gay character when it's really not that big of a deal compared to believing in magic. You know what I mean?
It's so, but like.
But see, you're still trying to rationalize it. It's
not because my brain is a
rational thing to. It's like I went on Demetrius Johnson's Instagram. You know, he showed a picture of Bill, and he was like, "This is one of the greatest television episodes I've ever seen." I was like, "I don't know about that, but it was pretty good." And I looked at the comments section, and it was all like, "Oh, it was all sus, bro. I don't know about that." It was just like comments like that, and I was just like, I wasn't expecting to find that, and because this guy, he streams, he's like a gamer and he streams, right? Besides doing his mixed martial arts career, and I was like, why is this here? There's people that are like,
I don't, because I feel like
this
those
ain't
people,
it, Chief.
Those people exist. They exist, you know. They exist, right? Obviously, you know. You guys are not making up these people that are, you know, troubled about these things, these silly things. But like they're a loud extreme minority. I feel like.
No, well,
that's what I feel like. I feel like the average person that watch episodes is gonna be like, either this is cool, or it was fine. Or because most people that watching the show probably played the game, right? Most, not all.
I don't think so at all. I don't think
most.
That's true.
I would say most. I would not all.
I wouldn't even argue most. I think the overall.
I would argue most. I would argue most. Absolutely.
People, I would argue most people. Maybe in the beginning, but at this point, no. I think now it's like people's families and stuff like that. But I think
I still disagree. I think most people that are drawn to something like Last of Us, like it's HBO show, so it's going to bring in obviously the people that watch want to see these more grittier television shows.
I'll put it this way: my parents, my sister, my uncles, my aunt, and my grand aunt are watching it.
Yeah, and but think of how many people played Last of Us, though.
I understand.
Like actually, a lot of people played that game.
It's really not a lot in comparison.
To like population, I guess.
Like imagine you played for every single person who played The Last of Us, there are probably like 6 people connected to them who are now watching it because it's an HBO show. That's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily that like The Last of Us didn't sell well. It's more about the fact that like.
But I guess by technicality, those people are still watching it because of the people who played the game.
Right. So, I mean, you could extrapolate.
So it's tangentially, it is still connected to it. But like the idea, like people like it's because I understand this argument is like how many people read comic books but then watch MCU movies, obviously, or watch comic book movies.
Right.
Same argument, you know. Very true.
Well, it's probably going to be the same thing with like say Blue Beetle's about to come out.
Of course.
I feel like most people don't know who the fuck Blue Beetle is.
I have never fucking heard of that character in my life.
Exactly. So what would probably happen to get you to even be remotely interested, somebody who is a huge fan,
obviously, yes,
is going to tell you, oh, the Blue Beetle's actually pretty dope. You should actually give this movie a chance or something. And I feel like that's what people did, because I feel like most people are burnt out with zombie apocalypse. The Walking Dead is somehow just about to end or just ended or something.
It just ended.
And I saw some comments say that, as soon as I saw some fungus thing, I checked out immediately. Because they were like, I don't care for this zombie shit anymore. So there are some people, but however, if people that play the game probably were like, no, trust me, this is a fucking great story. It's not about the fungus people. It's not about it. Like, but I guess that's what most shows are. Like, The Walking Dead was the same thing. It's not about the fucking zombies.
Yeah, that's most zombie media, quite honestly. And I think
most post-apocalyptic.
I think.
Apocalypse is
probably the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Are you saying
apocalyptic things very rarely?
Polka dancing?
I know. I said a lot of things. I said polka. I said polka. I said polka duck.
Yo, I like that. What if like somehow polka music brought about the apocalypse?
People are dying and exploding.
Polka music actually saved the world from apocalypse. You remember Mars Attacks?
Oh my god!
Was it polka music?
If it's not, it was
some weird kind of music.
It's like yodeling. I'm pretty sure it's yodeling polka music. I'm fairly confident.
I can't even remember. I gotta watch that movie again.
Mars Attacks is fucking awesome. I love Mars.
It's a great movie. From what I remember, is so good.
It's so stupid. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it's just embarrassing. The more this stuff happens, the more it's like apparent that it's literally only a problem because it's happening now and not because it happened ages ago. Like, because if it happened ages ago, no one would give a shit. Like, it's just people have been like conditioned into caring about shit that has always been here. And it's like really fucking baffling. Like they did this thing recently where like there's in the Ishimura in Dead Space, it is a ship. It is a planet cracking mining vessel with a bunch of staff. And so there's a bunch of different wings, and there are bathrooms in those wings. And those bathrooms will have like, you know, loot in them, they'll have like ammo or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I guess there's like the bathrooms are gender neutral, and that was like a huge fucking deal. Like, people were talking about it, like, I can't believe they fucking made Dead Space woke. And it's like, dude, it's a, like, gender-neutral... Do people understand that gender-neutral bathrooms, as they, like, just as a concept, are not inherently political at all? Do people, are people aware? Like, when I was working in retail, I worked in a building that had gender-neutral in 2011.
But let me tell you something, the difference. Let me tell you the difference. It's not new at all. The only difference is what it's called.
Exactly.
Do you remember what it used to be called?
A bathroom.
No. It was called unisex.
Oh, yeah. Right. That's
the gender-neutral bathrooms were called unisex. They've always existed, always, because specifically for parents. That was what its main purpose was for.
Literally.
You have a guy, girl, kid, you need to change them or whatever, take them to the bathroom. Here's a unisex bathroom. Problem solved. Dude. And so they just changed it to gender-neutral. And then now they're freaking out because it has the word gender in it.
Yeah, it's literally it's like a trigger word.
Fuck these people.
It's a trigger word.
Fuck these people. Exactly.
They're
the most triggered people.
Dude, it's way Dead Space. It has nothing to do with it is so clearly just about it is a horror game. And there's like obviously like there's like brief little hints of politics in everything. BioShock is a wildly political game.
Oh, of course.
Not a problem. Not a problem back then. It was totally fine. And there's like graffiti. There's a graffiti thing in Dead Space. It's like this ship is a capitalist hellhole or whatever. It's or something. It's like they're injecting politics into the game, and it's like if that exact same room was in the original Dead Space, it would be people would consider that world building, because like, oh, look, a character in this ship had this story or like this sentiment, they put it on the wall. It's like there was at a certain point there was a shift where everything that used to be totally fucking fine became really, really like triggering. And I think it's interesting to me because it seems to speak to, like, you know, a lot of people are like, people should toughen up. You know, people should really like fucking get over it already. And it's like, yeah, you should. Gender neutral bathrooms are not fucking new. They are really basic. Your house and apartment has a fucking gender neutral bathroom. You have a men's room in your fucking apartment. It's not a big deal. And if they have them in houses, in businesses, it would stand to fucking reason that in like 600 years in the future on a ship with many, many people in it, that there would also be one present there. It's just a reasonable extrapolation of modern conventions. There is nothing political about it at all.
You sound stupid, Chris. You just...
I just don't get it. I don't know why everybody's so fucking fragile now. Everybody.
It doesn't seem real to me. I don't know. Look.
It's sad, man.
For me, we could any moment now, that Russian feller could get buck and send a nuclear war at our way. You know,
good.
There's so many problems.
I don't want to eat that food. That
inflation
food has a gay lesbian. Can you imagine? Let me ask you something. In the post-apocalypse, when you're scrounging for food, are you going to be like, I can't eat those M&Ms?
Yeah. Hell no, I'd rather die.
I'd rather die straight, man.
You know, queer M&Ms.
And let me just round this out by saying this very, very... Because there's something else that I really want to talk about because it's really fucking amusing.
Oh, right.
So I just... and I want to get this out of the way. A long time ago, there were videos made by various outlets like BuzzFeed, you know, all these different videos, like basically over-analyzing entertainment, looking for the absolute worst possible political implications of said media when none were present. I think of like, Resident Evil 5, when they were like, this is a racist game because there are black zombies in Africa. And I'm like, you're losing your fucking mind. I'm sorry. Like this...
That shit was
I'm
great.
sorry. Like,
I thought
where
it was
else?
funny though. I thought it was funny though. I'm
They're
killing
black.
a lot of
the
niggas.
zombies. The zombies are black. Like what? Like
in Africa.
And you can imagine a situation where, like, imagine for a moment they made Resident Evil in Africa and all the zombies were white. Imagine.
I feel better about it. But yeah,
that would be so fucking weird.
That'd be so fucking funny.
You want to feel better about that? I'm like, oh, this is good. I like this.
No, it would be the funniest thing.
It would be
and then there would
hilarious.
be reason for real outrage, because then people would be like, "What the?
It wouldn't even
bro.
be outrage. It would just be like, this is like, I don't even understand what.
You know
like,
what's so funny? You kill all. You're in Africa. The funny part is that there's only one black person character. You can argue Sheva is like a brownie, like she's something, but then like there's Josh, the one true black guy. It's the only black character I think in Resident Evil period that doesn't die. It's just Josh. Ever. Yeah. Like he's the only one.
There's that. Well, no, that cop dies, right? In Resident
Evil 2? Dies. I put a fucking hole in his head. He died.
I liked him too. That sucked.
But killed that motherfucker.
But yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like Resident Evil 5 isn't racist because it's a zombie game that takes place in Africa. Yes. And Dead Space isn't woke because it has a fucking gender-neutral bathroom. What's happening is that you have become the thing that you were, like, fucking paranoid about for fucking years. That's you now. You are that person now.
SJWs,
and people come to me, and people come to me all the time. They say, like, Chris, you've changed. I'm the same exact motherfucker that you fucking subscribed to all those years. I swear to you.
Same.
Look at you throw back any video that I've ever done back at me, I'll agree with it like 99%. Maybe there's one thing that's like, I would have used like a slightly different slur here. But like it's the same. It's the same. I feel the same fucking way because I've been right this whole goddamn time. Yeah, and we've all been right this whole goddamn time.
Those people, and let's drive it home. These people, what they don't understand.
Yeah, say the N-word. Say it.
These no, what they refuse to understand is that it's never been about the left. Right? There were people who happened to be on the left that were overreaching into a lot of this art and media and shit. Right. That was like, hey, calm the fuck down. And once they did, it was like, okay, I don't need to say anything anymore. And now you see the Eminem thing. You see fucking everything. They started bitching about Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon 50th anniversary or whatever.
What?
Because
Why?
within the 50, there's a fucking rainbow. Right? And
you're like, kidding. You're kidding.
Pink. No way.
You're kidding. That doesn't make sense. I don't
swear
believe that.
To fucking God. I swear to whatever God anyone listening to worships this. I swear there is a post that went insanely viral of multiple people bitching on Facebook of Pink Floyd posting their 50th anniversary thing that has in the zero it has a fucking the rainbow, and they were saying it's woke, and then there was other people's their brains were fried. They're like, have you not seen the fucking prism? Have you not seen the cover of this album?
That's the most iconic Pink Floyd imagery ever. The thing that's funny about
one of the most iconic album images of all time, dude.
You know what it is though? It's a lot of fake fans, is what it is. It's a lot of people who like because like it reminds me back in the day when like I mean I hate to bring her up because like it's always just like the most annoying people bringing her up still. But the Anita Sarkeesian stuff, like she hated video games. She did. There's like video of her being like, I don't have any history with these, and then she pretended 100%. As if she did, so that her critiques would have more sway in the industry. She's an absolute con artist. I still believe that to this day. Anybody who knows her,
it's not even a belief. It's a fact. It's fact.
Like I
purely.
I have spoken to people who know her, and I still hold that opinion. So like, let that speak for itself. But you know, it's just a matter of like these people who don't actually care about what they're involving themselves with, then like jumping into it, like because there's no way a Pink Floyd fan is in those comments complaining about the, you know what I mean? Like there's no fucking, those are all people who like, you know, maybe the fans saw this post and they're like, oh cool, 50th anniversary edition, and then they shared it. And then one of their uncles on Facebook was like, I can't believe there's a fucking rainbow on this fucking like
Pink Floyd is woke now too.
That's what it is. It's just a bunch of people who have no connection to anything talking about the thing as if they have a deep understanding of it. I'm sorry, but if you're a fan of Dead Space and you can't acknowledge that this game is just like, I saw somebody be like, just play the 2008. It's not the 2008 one. It's not woke or whatever. It's like the 2008 one. I'm not even exaggerating. Significantly worse. And I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's a great game still. But like, this is so objectively better that it's insane. Like, you are actively refusing to take part in something that is quantifiably good because of some shit that's not even real. It really is astounding. It is sad, honestly.
It is. I hate it. I hate how wacky it's gotten. I hate how wacky it's gotten. And I'll say this. I actually I hung out with my brother over the weekend. I met JoJo and everything, and we were talking about this because my brother watches my content every once in a while, and he gets in. He's this type of person. He gets in arguments with people in the comment section. I told him that I'm like this close to shutting that channel down because there's these mutants that won't leave. I keep telling them to die, like leave. Like, I don't want you here. Like, because these people, like they're like when I said my brother talked about this, and I didn't see this comment, but when I said anyone who thinks Nicholas J. Fuentes has any good ideas can fuck off from my channel. Please leave. Like you're insane if you're still here. And then somebody said like, oh, I thought there was for freedom of speech. It's like some weird shit where I'm like, dude, I don't want Nazi lovers on my channel. Like somebody who would think this guy who he's like, there is no debate. I will say there's some people that are so fucking stupid, like the people that didn't realize that Bill's gay. They're the same people that somehow believe that Nicholas J. Fuentes isn't like a racist piece of shit.
It's crazy.
Because himself.
How?
Because himself, he'll say something like,
you know why? Because people said racist for fucking 8 years over dumb shit.
People
kept
called everybody and their mom racist.
I kept saying, don't fucking do this. You are not. This is like one of the most basic morals you could ever fucking learn. Is like not to cry wolf. It's like the first. It's like one of the first like 5 things you fucking learn probably when you're becoming a sentient human being. Don't cry wolf. And now it's like everybody's so desensitized to that word that when it comes up and there's actually like psychopaths, now nobody pays attention. And you know what? It's all your fucking fault. It ain't my fault. I was telling you. I told you for years. Dude, I remember like when I made fun of Hillary Clinton and people were like, you're being sexist. And I'm like, bro, you're out of your mind. She sucks. Objectively. And now everybody's like, oh yeah, she did suck. It's like, okay, cool. Fuck you all. You're the worst. Every like left-leaning psycho who was watching me back then, it was like, actually, Chris, you're fucking I don't know. I don't remember the words that they used. Some fucking nonsense.
It's just so insane. It's insane.
I tell you what. I hope you get deep faked into AI porn and your friends masturbate to it. That's what I hope happens.
Transition.
That's what I hope. What was that sound?
God damn.
I still remember that fucking Ray William Johnson sound, bro. I'll never forget it. Transition. Have you given it a listen? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or would you rate it?
That's Anthony Fantano. But we gotta talk about this.
Well,
we have to talk about this.
Okay, so this is funny. This is really funny. It's hilarious.
So what's the streamer's name? Something like
it's disturbing.
What's his name again? His name is Atrioc.
Atrioc. Why would you have?
So let me set the story.
I don't know.
So close to a Halo game.
Let me set the page here. So this guy was streaming. Yes. This guy was streaming he's a big streamer. He knows a lot of these. He knows Pokemon. He knows like a lot of these bigger kind of all these other big streamers. Like normie streamers, like the streamers that whatever. I don't know. I'm not big on streaming at all. Like I don't watch any streamers really, except for my friends. So like I don't know these people. But Atrioc knew these people, and he was streaming one day, and he's like, I wonder what time it is. It's such a Seinfeld ass it's like imagine just wanting to know what time it is and now 100+ million people know you for deep faking porn of your friends. So he asked what time it is and then he alt tabbed for like one frame it showed all of his open windows. Already insane. but he had an open window of porn, and it was deep fake porn of, I think, the streamers Pokimane and Maya. I don't know these people personally. I don't even know who Maya is. But apparently these are people he knows, like girlfriends of friends of his. And it's also not even just deep fake porn that you can look up. He had to buy it. Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he paid for this.
I didn't know that.
Like, so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is real. So
Holy fuck, he bought it.
It's not even like
this is this is unbelievable, dude.
You stumbled upon it. No, you can't.
It's like, look, like
he went looking.
I don't know anybody I don't know anybody famous enough for this to happen to me, but I can imagine, like, on some level, if you're famous enough and you have famous friends, that just scrolling through shit, I'm sure you'll probably find like deep fakes of somebody that you know, right? That's one thing. To see it and they're like, oh, that's fucking weird. It's another thing to pay for it. That's crazy. And so, like, because this happened, everybody was making fun of him, and then he went on stream and started crying, apologizing, and he's like, man, I did this, and he's bawling. His wife is out of focus behind him. To the point where I was wondering if she was deep faked in there, because, like, why the fuck would why the fuck
your own wife?
But why would you actively, like, sit there with your crying wife in the bed? It's such an insane, like, everything about this is insane. So, like, so he does this, and he has this stream. Nobody would have known about this if he hadn't done this stream, I promise you. Like, I think, like, maybe Pokimane and, like, Maya and, like, all these people would have made a big deal about it, sure. But this video, at the last time I saw it, had an insane amount of views. Like, let me look back and see.
For like 3 days, it was everywhere. And I guess not for days, for like maybe like 2 days, you just couldn't get away from it.
This video of Atrioc crying with his crying out of focus wife in the background has. The video itself has 18.1 million plays, and the tweet itself has 89 million views.
Let's go.
So that's like nearly 100 million people who know this guy now for deep faking his friends' faces onto porn. And it's like, dude, first of all, what are you doing? Can
we what? Let me get the first one. Amateur that you're looking at porn on your work computer.
Insane.
That is amateur number one. The computer I'm at right now never touched a porn site. It is clean. It is cared for. If you're watching TV, if you're watching porn on your computer, you're a psychopath now, first and foremost. Use your laptop or your phone.
I don't really see the difference.
There's a huge difference. The station in general is huge different. This is a station for work. I mean, or maybe an occasional YouTube video.
PC and work,
here's what I'll say. I think it's crazy, specifically because of reasons like this, or like specifically, specifically because, like, I remember there was a thing with Jeremy, like, from the quartering, where he was like googling something on stream and it said like forced cream pie or something, and it's like what don't, like,
let's go, let's go.
Look, I just don't understand how like say. I'm somebody, I've talked about this before, that I'm not really a huge fan of porn because it's the vast majority of it, like, it's fake. It's fake performances. I don't like fake shit. That does not.
You like the real shit. Like the real shit,
amateur,
bro.
Like amateur shit of like people that are actually banging is way better. The production isn't better, but it's real people who are actually having fun and enjoying this and not just going to work. That shit doesn't work on me at all because I
gotta go to work. I need plot. How the fucking. I need plot.
You need plot. You need the pizza guy. You need all that shit.
I need fucking 1080p minimal.
Like
I need a fucking backdrop. I need all that shit.
Like, to me, it's like, it's so fake. I don't understand. This is personally for me. Like, the fakeness completely takes me out of it. The girl moaning, I know she's not into it. She's working. She's doing multiple cuts. She's actually like, like, it's been a long day. It does nothing for me.
I need all that. I need all of that. I don't know
how your suspension of disbelief is that good, or how people's is that good. They're so good at it.
I'm watching it for the entire package that it is.
Well, that's insane to me. Like,
I'm
I don't
kidding.
Even
I'm 100% kidding. I'm 100% kidding. I have a friend that said they watch porn for plot, and I disrespect them because they said that to me.
Well, because
the fact that they said
it's
that,
just not true.
Well, no, it might be true, and if it is,
I don't think it's true.
You need to
I think
rewrite
there's
yourself.
scenarios that like people like say. I know a lot of women like romance novels, so they'll like scenarios. They'll like, but the plot is not the point. It's the scenario that they're in.
I'm in it for character development.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
right.
I want that pizza. Right? I want that pizza man to understand his worth by the end of that fuck.
Yeah. No, but see, you know what I do? Like the girls that are. My whole point was that I rarely watch anything anyway.
Also, I don't really watch porn with girls in it very much anymore either. Oh, it's not really my thing anymore. Right, you know, I'm kind of moved on beyond that.
Pretty meta. But, no. Like my whole point is like said I don't in those rare moments. Like I don't really. It's kind of useless to me now because like I normally. Well, no, I've never actually lived with. A woman before other than my stepsisters and stuff, so like I'm living with my wife, and so
there's no reason
there's no reason. I have zero reason, and we're not the type of couple that like, oh, let's watch it together to spice things up.
That's crazy. That is crazy to me. I have never understood that. I've had people ask me to do that, and it's just like, listen, with all due respect, this is my domain, okay? This is like
don't take this from me.
We are probably going to share literally everything else. Just let me have this. Just this one thing. I don't even really delve into this stuff really all that much at all anymore. Right. So when I do, like let it be mine. Okay? Let it be mine.
There's very few things that are mine, you know. Porn, the bathroom while I'm in it, my ketamine. Those are my 3 things that are mine. That's mine. You can't have that. You hear me? You know who I'm talking to.
I'm not even.
You're watching this. Lily. Like, you're watching. That's mine.
When you're when you're in a serious relationship, you're not even fully yours anymore. You know what I mean?
Not anymore. So I'm property again. They made me property again. Somehow again, I belong to someone.
Damn,
don't
take this
Lily's
from
gonna
me. Bust in with a white tuxedo on and shit, like one of those white.
And
those
hey boss,
hey
boy.
She has a fucking confederate.
Someone please draw a picture of a Lily like that as a fucking slave auctioneer. As a slave auctioneer, that would be so funny. She's gonna watch this and be so upset. But please,
that should be the theme of your wedding.
Dude, let's go.
I can be a conquistador because she's Mexican, and she can be a slave auctioneer.
No. You gotta be.
And then before we kiss, I cough in her mouth and give her the flu.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, look, this whole thing is kind of sparked like So first of all, this whole thing is fucking weird. What I was gonna say is like, don't. First of all, don't have porn open before you start stream. That's like crazy.
That's the thing. That's where I was getting to.
These are amateur mistakes.
No,
that's what I was getting to.
The first thing is like, if you're going to watch porn on your work computer, first of all, don't do that. That's insane. For this exact reason, because like shit can happen, like a search can pop up that you don't want there, and it's just like it's not fucking worth it.
It
shouldn't, but it can. And that's what I'm saying. So
I literally delinked. I delinked my Google Chrome from here, and all of my Google Chromes are delinked.
Y'all are doing too much, man. Look at and Chris, you finish your point. I just want to say that about the work thing, that doesn't bother me because even in those small times I would watch thing on the same computer. Once you're done, you just clear that day. It's done. It is fucking done. It is literally takes 2 seconds.
The thing is, like,
you can clear your history. You can clear just that day.
Right, but the thing for me is like I don't like clearing my data because there's useful stuff in that data.
No, just clear that day.
No, but
that day.
But that day is it's
not crucial for a day. Is not crucial.
For me, it's just it's an extra level of inconvenience. It's far more convenient to me for me to be like, all right, this is just a computer
your cookies
where
and cache is still there.
Also just generally.
But look, you can
look. I'll put it this way:
you don't need to go out of your way.
Every PC that I've ever had where I've looked at porn on it, it's died so quick. like in comparison to the PCs that I have where I didn't, and I can't help but notice this. I don't know, man. It's just like the sites sometimes. Those are like there's like pop-ups that like pop up, and it's just like you try to get around them
immediately.
You just try to get around them, and it's like it doesn't work. And so like it you know, for me, it's like I'm gonna keep my very, very expensive gaming computer very, very safe. I'm not gonna look at porn on it.
That's great.
I have that's what my MacBook is for. My MacBook is
fair enough.
My MacBook is for everything that my work computer isn't for. And there's like, let me tell you something.
If you
none of you are ever using.
If you
ask me to use my MacBook, you're not going to use it. You are not going to use it because I do not clear that data at all. And I'm not going to either.
Because I want to know what's on there. I want to know what search history. I want to know what type of gentleman you are. I want to see if they're boring or if you have like.
I'll tell you this.
If you're exquisite.
It's probably a lot more bland than a lot of people would imagine. You know?
Do you like? Is there a lot of? Let me ask you a question. Do you like? Is there men in your porn? Is there like men like
solely?
Not generally.
In fact, only. What do you mean? They're men in my porn. Only. What do you mean? Dude?
Let's go.
Can there be porn without men? What are you talking about?
Listen,
is there manless porn? Is that real?
Is there manless? I want to get into this
anyway
because this conversation.
Wait, guys.
Shut up. We don't have a lot of time.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
The thing that I want to stress, is that. You know, obviously, so Ethan and Elon, their podcast.
Oh, right.
Because I want to get to this. So they showed.
What happened? I don't know.
So basically, Cutie Cinderella, who was, I guess, one of the girls who was also on this site. There's a whole conversation about what constitutes consent in the realm of like AI. That's like actually fucking fascinating.
Oh God,
it's actually a fucking fascinating conversation because I actually like I have no idea what the fucking legal recourse here is because she said on this video where she was crying, she was like, "This is fucked up. I just want." Even in a world where like women choose not to be sexualized or choose not to go down into the route of porn, like a lot of people do OnlyFans, but the people who don't just get thrown in there with AI shit, and that's actually really fucking crazy.
That's a conversation.
That's actually really fucking sad. But and there's this other thing. It's like she's crying on video, and then Ethan's watching and then Ethan goes like, "Hold on a second," and then he tells like a producer to play like sad music over it, and he immediately knows like he immediately knows he like went too far. He goes, "Stop," and he's hiding his face in his shirt and everything, and you can tell he's
trying
like,
his hardest.
He's trying his hardest not to laugh because it's like that's just an uncomfortable. Because I fucking died when I saw that. I was like, "This is hilarious." And it's not that
was so fucking funny.
And look, it's not that like what's happening to these people is funny. That's not what's funny. Like it's not. That's not what's fun. The funny thing is that
can I be real?
Happened.
Okay, well,
what?
Yes.
Nothing. Okay. Yeah. I agree. I wasn't gonna say something fucking horrible. Oh, yeah, I agree.
What, you think it's funny?
Seeing white women cry is always makes you laugh a little bit, but look, to a degree, I understand that's a terrible situation to be a part of because that conversation is brand new, and we can't even be fine with. Well,
put it this way, Kingston. If somebody, Last of Us, you know? Well, put it this way: if somebody made AI porn of your girlfriend, how would you feel about that?
I'm like, dang, that's crazy, bro.
It would be
because
okay.
I'd be unhappy, but I'd be like, at the end of the day, it's up to my girl. Like, if you want to do that, that's pretty crazy. I know it's not my girlfriend.
Well,
but it's not me.
Lily
it's not
is
me.
Extremely
That's the
upset.
thing.
Lily's extremely upset.
Then I'll be upset. Obviously, it's her.
No, but
it's her being.
So, but here's the thing, right? So there are rules about,
and that's a conversation to be had. It's a weird conversation.
No, listen. Because there are rules about revenge porn, right? That's like an illegal thing to do to leak porn of somebody against their consent, and it's not like the reason why that's illegal isn't because it's porn of that person. The reason it's illegal is because it's technically like I think on some level it's like a form of defamation. Like it's not about like oh you've revealed like a naked body that shouldn't be revealed. It's like that's not really what it's about. The point is like if something's convincing enough, and if there is AI porn of somebody out there, even if it's fake, that still does technically qualify
That's fucking their life up
as revenge porn, because like employers might see that and they might not know. They're not going to fucking check to see if it's real or not. Like, so like there's a
100%.
lot to this conversation that I actually don't. It's a fucking weird one. Like
it's a lot of nuance to that conversation.
Well, legally, it has not. Legally, it has not gotten there yet. But there is an argument to be made that now that deepfake is getting to the point where you may not be able to tell, because here's the thing. I feel like because of streamers, there's a lot of like introverted people that are becoming very famous, and they don't understand what fame is. I honestly think that's a fucking problem. I think that there's a lot of people that just don't. I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't have it both ways. You can't fucking live like a normal person and also be famous. It is not possible anymore. So what happens to women, unfortunately, fucking devious men
sexualize them in disgusting ways.
Always. To the point where,
man, it's horrible.
Like, deepfake, it wasn't called deep faking back then. It was just celebrity websites of people photoshopping as best as they can to make this look real or not. And there would be debates. Is this actually this person or is this, I remember, I saw one of Philip DeFranco's, thumbnails, and I guess there were some deep fakes of, recently of Billie Eilish on TikTok, which was crazy. There was porn on TikTok because obviously it's not supposed to be there. But that was like his clickbaity title, like nudes leaked or some shit, and I was like, say what? And he was talking about that story, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense because she's one of the most famous girls on the planet. So obviously there's all these pieces of shit that are trying to make stuff and probably try to sell money or try to make money, they're trying to make money off of all this stuff to convince dummies that this shit's real, or maybe it's close enough to where like that fucking whatever that streamer guy to where it's close enough to where he can beat off to it, which to me, like, I just want to focus on how fucking pathetic that is. The deepfake porn thing is easily, I would rather if he got caught like watching like, I don't know, gaped porn, like arms being just plunged into like asses, I'd be like, yeah, that's weird, but whatever.
Wait, we don't judge here, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody wants to watch that shit where I'm just like, I'm not into that at all, and that's bizarre, but to each their own. But this fake, it's kind of like my argument. It just takes it way further, where I can't watch like high production porn because I know how fake it is. Like, my suspension of disbelief doesn't work at all. It barely works for horror.
Yeah,
I have to really. Oh, go ahead.
The thing about it, too, is, like, this kind of extends into, because, like, there's a lot of source filmmaker stuff out there, too. Like, I've seen so many videos on, like, Twitter specifically of just, like, Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 3 Remake getting, like, her head blown off, and she's, like, naked. It's, like, fucking bizarre shit.
Yeah.
But what's
interesting, to be honest.
But what's, I mean, it works the first few times, but, like, after a while, anyway.
Good.
No, I'm trying to like. So in video games now, a lot of characters are based off of real people, like
real
a lot of
people.
So
that's interesting. Yeah.
If there is an actress who lends their face to a game, and then that character is then manipulated in source filmmaker to make porn of that, is that a deep? You know what I mean? Like, is that the same level of problem? Like I would have to imagine that
this conversation is very real and needs to be had because it is,
and we are the right people.
There's so much
to do
nuisance,
right?
We are, us being men.
Yes,
minority men, us being men of color, we are the ones to talk about this because we know it best.
Exactly.
Women wouldn't know it better than we are. They're women.
Can I say something?
Of course, I know it better.
Can I say something specifically about this? True. Like, where you say it's pathetic to jerk off to deep fake porn. I agree, but like the thing to me is like you paid for it also. Like you bought it. Like you commissioned it. And not only did he commission it, he commissioned it of his friend's girlfriends.
That's the problem. That's a problem.
Is that? That is crazy.
It's so many layers of pathetic.
You know them.
Like, I can't. Like, look. I'll be the first one to say that. Like, I might have even said this on the podcast before. That, like, I have this thing where it's I wouldn't even call it morbid, but just a curiosity of just like, oh, like you have a female friend, you're just like, oh, I wonder what they look like naked. And then like, but it's not like I need to see it, or it's not like a thing that's just like gnawing at, like this guy. It's gnawing at him to the point where he's paying for
scratch the hole in the back of his head. There's no hair in the back of his head because he keeps thinking about it.
There's a voice.
He scratched the bald spot.
There's a voice that's snarling in the back. It's like, I must know. I must know. That's
like,
crazy.
That's where he got. But like to me, like I've had a thought, like say, like oh, like I wonder, and then it literally completely fades after that. Because
I don't give a shit.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
I don't give a shit who you are. You're like I don't think there's been a single person that I've ever seen that I haven't been like curious at least once. It's like I wonder what that person like. I wonder sincerely what Danny DeVito looks like naked. Like actually.
Yeah,
like, I'm curious.
I mean,
we've pretty much seen it.
We've seen him just.
Well, you know what I mean.
Not his dong.
We just haven't seen his genitals. That's about it.
That's the kind of thing.
But that's
you
the most fascinating part of that. Because it's like
what if
I
he's
wonder,
like has a massive hog?
That's what I'm saying. It's like I wonder,
fucking wide and fat and long.
Like I'm like the proportions is what I'm most curious about. It's like I wonder, and so it's like
you're right.
But I'm not sitting there with like a demon in the back of my brain, clawing at me, being like, "You have to see it. You have to see it." To the point where I'm like, what's crazy? Though, like he doesn't even have to see it. He just has to be convinced that he's seen it because it's deep fake and he knows it. It's so many extra layers of pathetic because not only is he deeply curious about what his girlfriends look like naked to the point where he has to know, he is willing to settle for to understand that he won't know, and he's still going to pay for someone to trick.
Like this
him.
is good enough.
Like
that's so crazy.
All like the
so
deeper
crazy.
The deeper you go into it, the more like sad it becomes. Like I honestly like there is a really strong part of me that feels bad for this guy, like existentially.
What happened? Like, what happens is
his
like
fucking wife, dude.
Yeah, his wife had to sit there and knock the fucking shit out of him.
She had to sit there and not punch him in the face, crying out of focus in the background while he weeps apologetically about the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard.
His excuse is too like, well, like they're always there. Other people must be clicking on this stuff. I'm like, what are you doing?
Let me tell you something.
I've never one time ever even thought about clicking on a porn ad. It never even like a thought of like. Oh,
I was
maybe
told
I
not to do it, and I just never did. They were like, "Don't do that."
Well, it's just
not.
Like,
I got
it. Look, let's think of it this way. First of all, you're on a porn site because you're horny, and I'm focused.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I click on an ad?
Look, it's like this, right? It's like this, right? I'm on a porn site, right? I'm an age where I should not be there yet, and I realize it's like hot MILF within 3 miles. I'm not the right age to be there quite yet, so I'm not gonna do that. And as the years just passed, I'm like, that same MILF can't live 2 miles from me. I'm not going to do this. I live in a different state now. She couldn't have moved 2 miles away from me also.
It's
that's
wild,
suspicious.
Man. I don't know, man. Like I'm not like a Puritan or anything. Like I don't think porn is like the devil or anything. But like I do think I got to be real, man. I think a lot of you out there are like really fucking. You might be like sickly addicted to this stuff without even realizing it. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're paying for deep fakes of like your friends, like you have got a problem. Like that's beyond.
Be honest.
That's beyond just like, all right, I gotta clear the pipes. I've got to like fucking do this.
Yes.
I don't know, man.
That's what it's always been, like a pipe thing. Yeah, and not like the people who like watch it regularly or whatever and stuff. And I don't even want to like say. Shame, but I always say, I mean, it's so cliche.
Moderation,
everything in moderation, right?
Moderation,
everything,
genuinely,
fucking everything.
That's how you survive living. You got to do everything in moderation,
Like, dude,
you can't use coke every day. You can't.
Well, sure, you can't do everything. You can't fucking drink soda every goddamn day. It's
exactly.
Like it does everything. It's literally everything. Just everything. Just take it easy.
I once had a friend who said like he did it like 6 times a day once, and I was like, "You're out of your mind."
Coke?
No, porn.
No beating off. Oh,
yeah.
porn.
Oh, that's like young teen numbers,
No, but that man. Even when I was a young teen, I was like
kid.
maybe like if there was a day where it was unusually high, it was like maybe twice a day. And it was never.
I definitely had some impressive numbers on the board.
And it was never like twice a day for like several days. You know what I mean? It was like one day I would do it, the other day I wouldn't, the other day then I would do it twice, and then like it was just like back to once or like none.
I average
like,
twice a day.
It is never like
for me. I definitely numbers on the board when I was like.
Well, average. Let's just
young,
give it. What about?
I'm
average?
talking about
average.
like
average. I don't even know anymore. It's like a while. Like maybe like
anymore doesn't matter.
But younger, I was like maybe like once a day when I was younger. But there'd be like weekends. Like there'd be like Saturdays
the spikes don't
where
matter.
I'm not doing anything and I'm like going crazy.
The spikes don't matter. We're talking about average.
I'm talking about somebody 6 times a day regularly. That's his default.
Oh, that's madness. His dick's gonna fall off.
Hey everybody, I'm back from eyes. They dilated my eyes, and it was gross.
Were you blind for a while?
No, I mean it was for like 3 hours or something. I could see. It was just like your eyes dilated, so everything's like really like blurry and really bright. It's fucking weird. I don't like it. I thought they didn't do that anymore. For some reason, I thought they stopped doing the dilation.
They got to see where your eyes are like dilated as well, you know.
My
for your
shit
lenses.
was, and back in 2016, I was legally blind for like a few hours. I could not see my girlfriend at the time 2 feet in front of me. It was so weird.
That's
I hated
crazy.
it so much.
How
yeah.
Do you know what your prescription is? Like the number of it?
It is whatever it is. It's like minus 50, like 75. It's
minus 75.
Like something like I forget the exact. I have the prescriptions. It's like minus
0.75
50 or minus.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
Then
minus 75.
Because if you got like minus 75, you're.
Oh no, I'm not.
You have cataracts.
Negative blindness.
You have cataracts, bro.
Blind to the. No, it's like point. I'm so bad with that shit.
Me too. I've never really known, and then I was like, hey, since I'm going to be doing this, or potentially be doing this LASIK thing, I was like, all right, let me tell me what my prescription is. No one's ever told me. They just give me my glasses, and they never tell me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like they write it down. Each time I've went, they wrote it down for me because I buy my specs online, so I need to have it.
They would print me a big, almost like a several page thing, and it would be buried in there somewhere along with a million other numbers that I didn't know how to read or differentiate from each other. So I was like, all right, well, fucking whatever. I'm just going to give this to a doctor and they'll figure it out. But apparently mine is minus 11. That's what my prescription is.
That's bad. It's pretty bad.
LASIK,
LASIK apparently only
bad.
LASIK only apparently fixes up to 14. So if I had waited, I guess, another 15 years, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it, but
really, it has to be like, so like, up to 14 meaning
up to minus 14 they can
be
fix.
Worse. So you can't be.
So if you
worse
get to
than
15, LASIK won't help you. It'll help you.
Okay. So that means you qualify.
I do qualify. They want me to do this thing called PRK, which is like this is kind of a sidetrack, but LASIK is they use a laser to cut a flap in your eye. They lift that flap and then they put a lens in. Is basically what that is. It's like a little lens in your eye. What PRK is, it's basically the same thing, except what they do is they remove the cornea entirely, and then they like laser restructure the eye and then wait for the cornea to grow back. So it's like a slightly different procedure, but it's like it's more for people who are doing, if they're in the military, if they're police officers, if they're doing like contact sports. It's a safer thing to do because with normal LASIK, there's a flap in the eye that can theoretically reopen if enough damage happens. But with this, it's just like the eye kind of like grows back, I guess. It's in some way is how it was described to me. So I might be doing that. I can do it next Friday, which is kind of nuts because they said like, yeah, you'll have 20/20, you won't need glasses anymore. But now I'm thinking like, ooh, I don't know if I will
say it's a part of your identity, so that's the only thing I would be. Yeah, that's the only part that I would
just wear without lenses.
You
wear
literally
glasses
can't do glasses off anymore, motherfucker. I mean, I guess you can,
I know.
But
I would have to. I guess I would just like pop the lenses out of this one. But
just wear without lenses. Why not?
Yeah, just that's actually a great idea.
But you know what's weird
literally
though is that
wearing glasses, but just.
But you know what's weird though is that like my prescription's so high that even if I kept wearing my glasses, I would still look very different because my glasses push my entire like the distortion of it. Like if I'm looking directly at the camera, like that's a pretty significant distortion. That's not going to be there anymore. And that's going to be like weird to see. I can't even imagine that. So like, I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure out whether or not I want to do it. It's a little.
I want to do something. You know,
my eyes are fucked up, and they've been fucked up for years, and I've been surviving with fucked up eyes.
Yeah, you're dumb. You're just stupid. Like, you should at least get glasses.
Nah, fuck that. I look stupid with glasses on.
I would at least like to see for the fight. You know what I mean?
Everybody has. Yeah, exactly. That's why you should just do it. You should just. Do
you
it,
need to do that.
And it'll be way better.
Just damage your eyes afterwards. You fix your eyes, then as soon as the fight's over, fucking damage them again.
There's this blind guy named Charles Oliveira. I mean, he was almost like his glasses were very high prescription. And he was the UFC light heavyweight champion. And like on the top of his game, he gets the surgery to correct his vision, and then he loses his championship. And I was
really?
and I was like, because my whole thing was his defense was kind of bad because he probably couldn't see that well. He would always get kind of tagged, and he'd always fall, but he's such a jiu-jitsu master, he wanted to take it to the ground anyway. But so he fights this next fight, and I was like, oh, he's probably going to do better because he can see so much better, and he got destroyed. However, he got destroyed by a guy who's amazing. But I just thought it was funny that he probably feels like shit, like, I should have never done it. That was the fucking...
This sight cost me my fucking championship.
If I could have not seen, I would have killed that guy. Like, he would have died. He would have been the first UFC death.
It's crazy because I feel it's crazy how no one's died in the UFC yet. It's insane. It's insane.
With some of the strikes that I've seen, I'm like, oh, I think he's actually
especially
dead.
From heavyweights. Like, I'm sure Ngannou can hit someone hard enough to kill them. I'm sure he can deliver that much power.
He can,
but it just hasn't.
So because the people, they're professionals. If they fought regular people, they would die because regular people don't know how to roll with punches. So
people don't know how to take a hit correctly.
Yeah, so that's the problem. They don't know how to, and I feel like I'm sure you're learning a lot about that, Chris, about like rolling with punches, so you don't get fucking KO'd immediately if somebody gets you good. Right? Like, hopefully you see what's
Chris?
happening.
Hopefully you don't lock. You get hit, you didn't lock your neck. Yeah. Take it all to the chin. That'd be hilarious.
Like, it's a great way to absorb strikes by not taking the whole thing. And I feel like most normal people, they never think about doing that. So you can, like, imagine Francis just going to a bar and then... You should look up this fucking monster, Francis Ngannou, so you can just see how ridiculously large he is as a. It's upsetting that these are when people get that big, like when they get up to because he's like your height, I think, Sweeney.
Francis,
6'4"?
He's 6'5". He's 6'5", pushing 3 sometimes.
He usually walks around 300 pounds, but it's literally all muscle. He's probably like
Did you say maybe 9% Did you say he's 6'5", pushing 3? What does that mean?
Pushing like 300 pounds.
He walks around 300 pounds. Yeah, he's pushing 3 years old.
It's like, what the fuck?
He's walking around like 300. The thing is that what makes it crazy for him is that he wasn't a fighter his whole life. He worked in like a salt mine or like a sand mine or something like that. He just moved sand.
It just makes me mad.
Dead serious though.
It just makes me mad that people like this just exist. Like there's like my bitch ass who has to go out of my way to even get like a bump of muscle, like just to get like, oh man. And this guy, he's obviously working hard, but his genetics are so fucking superior that he just looks gorgeous by. There was a guy named Ron Simmons that was in the WWE, and everybody was upset at him because he was the guy that wouldn't do shit. Farouk would just do like a set. And he was one of the most jacked people in the fucking, like, in the WWE. And
is he that guy that put that fox in the microwave?
What? What?
I'm thinking of something else. Never mind.
So you're thinking of something you watched on Live Leak. That's what you're thinking. You're not thinking of a famous person.
I don't know. Sometimes famous
WWE wrestler was like a fucking segment.
Chris Benoit. We know about Benoit, you know, so you can't really say it's crazy that they do that.
When I said that, Derek was smiling and just staying. It's like, I've never seen you so confused.
I was just like, wait. Did this guy actually do that?
It's like, yo, I missed that.
How did I miss this?
That would be the biggest shocker. I would probably have to take a minute and be like, hold on a second.
And go and look it up and read
he's one of my favorite
article.
people, man. Farouk, he was called Farouk in the WWE, and he was a part of the the Nation of Domination was so fucking awesome.
That's a long time ago.
It was a bunch of like they were kind of like 5%ers, right?
Yeah, they were 5%ers.
And they were just basically, we are the nation. They would be doing their thing, and then The Rock joined after a while.
It's funny. It's funny the fact that The Rock joined, because that was how everyone figured out he was black. That's when everyone figured out he was a black man, because nobody knew The Rock was black. Yes, you see,
you know that. I'm not. He looks not serious, but he could be serious. That's the problem.
The Rock is a black man.
I thought The Rock was like his
dad. He's a pineapple. He's definitely a pineapple.
So the thing is that The Rock never denies he's a black man, but no one asks him if he's a black man. That's the thing. He won't deny it. Like, yes, I'm a black man.
But he doesn't rep it except for in that Rumble song, the Face Off.
I feel like
he says black and Samoan in my veins.
I feel like he never denies it, because the thing is that like he's being Polynesian is so much more unique than being African American in America, obviously. You know
what I think it is, man? I think he
also he grew up around mostly Hawaiians in general. In all fairness, the family, the Aho family, the whole
I don't care about that shit,
wrestling niggas, all them, they were all Hawaiian.
No, the whole.
Except his dad.
There's a huge. No, it's a Samoan. There's a Samoan dynasty. They lived in Hawaii, but they are Samoan. His mom's Samoan. Mm-hmm. Long story short, I think The Rock. I think he was kind of resentful of his dad for not being around. I think that's why he didn't fuck with him. I think that's why. But when he died, of course, he showed respect and everything. But yeah, he's half nigga, man. His dad is a giant black man. He's fucking huge. I'm so mad. I'm like, why? I was like, Mom, why couldn't you fucking marry a behemoth, like some guy that's like 7'6", and then give me a chance? Like
my dad is so big and black, it's scary. My dad is so large and black, it's terrifying. He's huge.
My dad was 2 feet. No, my dad was 2 inches taller than me, and my mom is like 5'2", maybe. So I was fucked. I had no chance.
My mom was like 5'10", and my dad is like 6'6".
God, yeah. So you there's no way, dude. If you would have been short, it would have been fucking hilarious.
I would have been beat savagely by everybody in my family. Because even though my family's Hispanic, they're not short. None of them are really short, except for my grandma. My grandma's like 4'11" now. It's insane. Lily towers over my grandma currently, which is madness.
I feel like I'm losing inches because I have a herniated disc. It scares me.
I think you have a herniated disc?
Well, whatever. Yeah, I do. One of the reasons why I didn't ask. Yeah, thanks, man.
Put that shit back, bro. Take that shit out. Put that shit back in.
I've heard the best way to fix that is you like
is what?
You curl over forward like this, and then jump back and land on your spine. It's supposed to like reorient everything.
Or you can go to a doctor and have them just realign it, because that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to have it just realigned.
You know what's wild? I actually legitimately I fell backwards off of a staircase once, and like I think 2 days later I was taller. That's not even like remotely a joke. Like actually for real.
I mean, you could have decompressed your spine.
I might have done that. That's what I'm saying. That was like a real thing that happened. That's not like obviously it wasn't like 6 inches or anything, but like it was like it was.
You come back lumbering. Have you ever seen that video? There's a moment from a video where there's like a giant kid and this guy walks in. It's a movie where this kid just starts getting big. This kid gets large.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
And then they bring this doctor over, and he's like, "Get the fuck out!" He's like, "Fuck you!" The little kid starts fucking cursing at him, but he's a giant kid. He's like a 6 foot, like 7 foot child.
Is that Brendan Fraser?
And he starts cursing.
Is that Brendan Fraser movie where he goes, "Oh my gosh!" He walked. Do you ever see that clip of the Brendan Fraser movie where he walks up? Oh my stars! A Negro.
No, I don't. What the?
You've never seen that?
Does that actually happen or no?
There's a. I swear to God, there is a Brendan Fraser movie where.
Encino Man?
I think it's Encino Man.
I don't think it's Encino Man, dude. It's.
It's a movie called Food of the Gods. It's a movie called Food of the Gods, and I just pulled up the scene right now. I'm gonna put it in the Riverside chat.
And he's just like racist. I don't get it.
No, he's not racist. He just starts. He's not racist. Whoa. He just starts cursing.
See, what happened was that Derek, we were talking about something, but Sweeney didn't take any of that in. He's still talking about the first thing he was talking about 5 minutes ago.
I'm talking about the giant kid because it's so funny because it's hilarious.
Right. Oh, that's what you're showing? And
yes, the giant child.
Oh, we were like so beyond that.
Right.
My stars. You gotta watch. This is so funny. Guys, look up. It's called Slightly Higher Quality Bobby from Food of the Gods. And it's such a funny fucking scene because it's just a giant child cursing at an adult. And the adult is scared because the kid's so big.
That looks so gross. I like how his clothes don't even fit him. His clothes don't even fit.
Like I thought it was an anime or something. Animated.
No, no, we were talking about oh my god, Brendan Fraser. Oh my lucky stars.
Damn, that
I would be so fucking. What would you do if it was a kid that big cursing at you?
I'd still fight him.
You still fight him?
I'd
Derek,
fight him.
This is what I was talking about.
Okay.
It's like a 5 second
I think I could beat a child up.
Yeah, no giant child. It can't be that strong.
Well, I don't know. Kids don't really understand pain either, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what movie this is. I don't know what movie this is where Brendan Fraser just says, "Oh my lucky stars."
So he's like, it has to be time travel, I'm assuming.
No, he got trapped in a bunker for a period of time. He thought some war was gonna happen, and then he grew up in a bunker and he came out, and now the world didn't end or some shit.
Fallout. So it was Fallout.
It was some like fucking like Cold War bullshit movie. It's funny though. It is funny. I think it is Encino Man.
It's Fallout Man.
Is this Encino Man?
I think
it
is.
It can't be.
It's not fucking Encino Man. You
Encino Man's a fucking caveman.
Yeah, man, it's the same thing. That's a caveman. Caveman never saw black people. It's the same shit.
It's not fucking Encino Man. You don't.
Are you telling me cavemen saw black people?
I don't think cavemen could say, "Oh my lucky stars." That's not a caveman saying.
I think they could learn. I think
sure.
Apparently, Neanderthals had bigger brains than Homo sapiens. So all I'm saying is that it's possible. That's crazy.
Where are they at?
Yeah.
They died off because they didn't develop tools. I mean, actually,
dinosaurs had huge brains, but they were fucking stupid as shit. So whatever.
They didn't have huge brains compared to their sizes. They had tiny ass brains compared to the size of how big they were.
We're getting sidetracked. Let's get into some questions.
Maybe
the whole reason we did this. Let's get into some questions. These fucking names, man.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck.
I'm surprised there's no Nick Kurz. That's actually very surprising.
One day, I'm sure. Let's see.
I still can't believe Nick Kurz real.
It's a real person. That is honestly insane.
I'm sorry.
Crispy Fajita wrote in. He says, "Hey, Shark Tank, long time listener, now patron. Welcome aboard."
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Fucking asshole.
Fuck you. Get out of here, fucking piece of shit. I remember you guys mentioning...
Get the fuck out of here.
I remember you guys mentioning going down to the Backrooms rabbit hole, and down a Backrooms rabbit hole, and it reminded me of my obsession with Monument Mythos. I highly recommend the series. It's a mix of analog horror and satire that somehow mixes ideas like James Dean becoming president, monuments containing Eldritch Horrors, and the Ever-Given shipping vessel being a huge I don't know what you're saying. Anyways, just wanted to drop a recommendation. I think I've heard of this, Monument Mythos, but I've never actually fucking watched it. I'll give it a watch later. I just wanted to address that because someone wrote that in a while ago. Michael wrote in. He says, "Hello, my beautiful baby boys. You decided to become a guru for young and impressionable teenage boys in order to make a ton of money. What is the main point you try to instill in the future generation? Will you go Andrew Tate's route of telling guys to hate women, or will you take a Jordan Peterson route of telling guys to wash the smegma off their foreskin? How would you choose to corrupt or help these young men?" Ooh, man, we have to come up with our own.
He's like, "You can't have foreskin because God said so. The inner monologue and the dragons within the foreskin and Give me money.
It's so funny because Jordan Peterson tries to like go on these talks about a man who is not ready to, a man who is not prepared for combat at all times is not dangerous. I would beat the flaming fuck out of Jordan Peterson at like any point in his life. I would OCO that nigga. But like, and it's just like, how are you? Are you dangerous?
I've never like, I've never anyone like, yeah, I know. I've just never anyone thought like they've never said that verbally. Like
I'm just so like sick because I've never heard anyone say that either, and like, I'm so sick of hearing him say these speeches.
The dog shit out of him, like yeah.
I would beat the flaming fuck out of him. I would beat him down.
He went to a coma after eating meat
from drinking apple cider. That guy's defensibility is horrible.
Go.
Oh yeah, Sweeney. Oh wait, you got to sound more like Kermit.
Oh yeah, Mr. Sween, I'd beat the shit out of you.
I'll beat the shit out of you, black bitch.
I would throw water on him, and he would get sick from it. He would get a poison effect from water, and I'd beat the life. I would beat the Sam fuck out of him, bro.
You godless darky. You got nothing on me, sweetie.
Your God doesn't love you. That's why you're dark skinned.
Holy shit! You godless darky.
You godless darky. You're
crazy, dude.
The
let's
woke
relax.
mind virus has gotten you. The woke mind
virus is corrupting our youth.
You think you can stop me because of your dark skin? Well, guess what? You're black, therefore worse and bad.
That's just Kermit, though. That's just
you're worse and bad.
You know what's fucked up? I realized something because I was one of the first people to interview like Jordan Peterson. He actually reached out to me. His wife reached out to me. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, none of these other big people in our community has talked to him yet. I was like, that's fucking bizarre. I was like, what does he see in me? And then I realized that he probably was scanning my videos and saw that I was fucking bouncing around in all these places. I had different backgrounds. And I'm a black man. And he's like, so I'm just a chaotic nigga. And then he was doing this thing called self-offering that's supposed to, like, help you, like, get your life together. And he was basically being like, this dark gentleman could really benefit from, just like getting his shit together. And I realized, I'm like, this motherfucker was like, pick the black guy because he just was like, oh, this guy's obviously like just worse off than any of the other white counterparts and shit. And I was like, yo, this is kind of fucked up.
You should have done it though.
No, I mean, I did the interview, but I was also like, this shit does not work. Like, I'm an artist, man. I thrive in chaotic fucking. I can't be too clean and too organized. Like his self-authoring shit, and that I read his fucking book. He wanted to do another interview, and I couldn't. I was like, bro, your book sucked dick. I can't interview you because all I would do is just say that it sucks.
Well, fuck you, you black bastard. Go back to the pits of Mordor where your Negro ass came from. You monkey.
It's so fucking crazy.
You godless monkey.
You godless ape. I hate you.
Bitch.
All right, I guess this
God
is just
damn it! Let me go back in my bag. Let me go back in my bag and sleep for 4 months. You fucking bastard!
Stop trying to interrupt me, Chris. You little bitch. You have all black friends. You need some white. You need some.
You have Negroid blood in you. I know it. You're from an island.
Is he a race? Like,
I don't think he's racist, actually.
I
don't think he's racist at all.
I think he's racist, but
I feel like Jordan Peterson is not like a racist guy. Like, he's just kind of like cringe.
It's just funny.
But
look, he's not just cringe. He has a huge
Your
problem.
Your friends are black.
He does the
I don't know if he. I don't know if he's racist, but I will say he clearly has a problem with trans people.
I can believe that. Yeah. But I think
that makes sense.
Dude, he went out of his way to just shit on Elliot Page. That shit was wild.
Yeah, you know why? Because I feel like Ellie Page before the transition, that was his go-to. That was his go-to. You know. That was his quick type up, get a few yanks in.
Not answering the question.
Oh, what was the question?
Don't interrupt me,
Fajita man? What was the question?
Four-eyed freak.
What was the question, Latino?
Okay. How would you go? Okay.
Unlistenable, this podcast.
Here we go.
Unlistenable.
Don't worry, it's fine. This is people like this. We're not doing Jordan Peterson podcast. You know, Jordan Peterson's podcast. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna go deeper into Jordan Peterson. How would I? So you're talking about because the person was basically saying, how would you corrupt the youth, essentially,
or how would you
offer Andrew Tate?
Yeah. What would be your?
Offered Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson. So it's almost implying that how would you corrupt the youth and not actually groom them in a positive way? Because if it was positive, I mean, goddamn, man, you just give them a little bit of Power Rangers, give them some Spider-Man.
All negative.
What?
That's all negative to you?
No,
What's
we have
positive
to.
for you,
No. I'm saying we must. This is a negative question.
Okay, what I would do is I would
how we
empower
would corrupt the youth.
I would empower young men to understand that women should not put their hands on them, and they have in fact the right to defend themselves if perceived danger.
Not negative. That's actually
no.
That's egalitarian.
No. But the amount of force they use is up to them. It is up to them to dictate when they are safe. So knock women the fuck out. Knock women to the floor.
So your Jordan Peterson platform.
As soon as she swings on you, knock that bitch unconscious.
Your platform would be just attack.
No. Attack when provoked immediately and excessively.
So
I don't even think there's necessarily anything wrong with that.
Overcorrect.
Damn. You don't have to look when a woman hits you. Most of the time, you're bigger than most women. You get hit, right?
I mean,
you defend yourself most of the time. I said most of the time, not all. I know that you short people. I know that most humans that are adults aren't shorter than you, but you know, like you defeat them, you put them back, and you stop the interaction. But you don't use force after that. At least is what I was taught. Now, let's say like one time you guys are all hanging out with me and Lillian hits me, right? And I turn around and I just haymaker her. She falls down. 2 more hits. That is what I'm advocating for. That kind of world where every guy does that and the conflict doesn't stop. Let's skip a beat. Everybody's like, well, all right, sorry about that fucking wild bitch over there. And he goes back and he keeps drinking with his boys.
I mean, I'm not that mad at that, man. I think like what should really happen is you combine Jordan Peterson and that, like, what you do, you combine Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate. So Andrew Tate's like, okay, women are property, whatever, cool. And then Jordan Peterson's like, clean up your room. Combine the thing. The
Make
women
your property, clean up your room.
Yes, you understand. The women must clean their room. There's no room. There is no debate. There's no like no, and it's not even in your vocabulary. You don't understand when women refuse. It's like I don't even understand what she's saying. It's like a foreign language because there's only yes, me lord, and that's it. I like that. I think that's actually pretty fair.
I mean, they should do that naturally, but you know.
Yeah, they should.
We let things go too far in one direction, and now they question everything. But you know,
and then they watch. You have to religiously watch. Either you have to kind of cycle through it, so you can watch Ong Bak or you can watch fucking The Raid Redemption. You have to watch one of these things, and then basically use that on your property if they get out of line.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Yeah, that's about it.
What about you, Chris? How would you contaminate the youth?
You look fucking.
I would say. I would try to get everybody saying every slur as often as possible, so that they become. But hear me out, right? This way, the slurs become meaningless, and then they can't hurt anybody anymore. And this would be my positive spin on basically just making it so everything is intolerable all the time.
Look, man, I think that'd be funny because it wouldn't work, and we'd lose lives for no reason. It would not. It would absolutely not work.
What lives would we lose though?
If Chris, right now, let's say a group of people that would follow would most likely be the white youth or the white male youth of America, because they're the most impressionable for the most part at the time. You know, they would follow you. They would go into Spanish Harlem. They would recite every slur possible. Mm-hmm. They would get to one of the slurs that offends a prominent demographic of the area, and then they would probably lose their lives.
I don't really give a shit. So
no, as long as you get your money, it's fine. They could die.
Yeah, buy my supplements.
Yeah, I don't care.
Get your bag.
Die.
Get your bag.
Get your bag, you lawless ape.
Saint Maxi wrote and he said, "Hey, Chris Chan, I wanted to get your guys' take on how video games are being adapted to shows and movies. Everything about The Last of Us and Witcher seems like the creators don't actually care about the games they're adapting. They just want to make a TV show. Shouldn't there be some kind of fandom there? I don't think so. So this might have been an old question. It's been in the doc for a while. So maybe Saint Maxi hasn't seen the show at the point where he's writing.
I would imagine so.
But what confuses me about it is like The Witcher, because The Witcher was like, I thought people liked The Witcher. Didn't they like The Witcher?
They did like The Witcher. They
liked it at first.
I thought the first season was pretty good.
I have not heard anybody say like, "Oh, the show sucks dick" or something.
Yeah, the first season of Witcher is solid first season of the series. It gets fucked up because the second season and the following season after that is just not very great.
It's not very good. It's not very good.
It's not very good. But
it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, it's like even Last of Us. I think Last of Us is pretty good so far. Like I have no problems with it, especially in the beginning. Like I guess you could like. Well, I don't dislike that they're changing things, I guess, but everything they've changed so far, I think has been for the better.
You want them to change some things, otherwise, I'm like, oh, I just watched the fucking video game. Like, why would you want? Like, why would? Yeah. That's why I was fucking disinterested at first, because I was like, oh, here's the intro, very similar to the fucking game. Second episode, oh, it just seems like a moment in the game, really. And the third episode was where things kind of really, I'm like, oh, this is fucking different. And I was like, that was interesting. You gotta understand that fans of things, because of whatever reason, they don't like things changing. I don't know why people get so tismatic about it, but change for some reason really bothers people. It's bullshit because if it was exactly the same, they would complain about that.
Of course they would. There's no win. There's no winning.
That's why it's like fuck them. They're just complaining. So that's why at a certain point I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fuck you.
There's no win.
Do you guys want? Are you guys gonna go to Bill Cosby's 2023 stand-up tour? Are you guys gonna do that?
I might, honestly. That shit is just unbelievable. Chicks,
man. I got VIP.
You got VIP. You gonna meet Bill Cosby?
I got VIP. You get a free. You get a free
drink.
You get.
Dude, that is astounding to me. By the way, like anybody who's listening to the show, this is real. By the way, this is like Bill.
I already forgave him.
That's crazy. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is touring again, which I guess means like cancel culture is not real.
It's never been.
Because like if there was ever anybody who probably should stay gone, the dude's like fucking 80. He's a serial rapist. Probably, maybe you just like say goodbye. But no, he's coming back.
It's insane, bro.
I mean, I realize the only people who really got canceled are the ones who really stepped down or stepped away themselves.
Yeah, you have to cancel yourself, I think.
It's mostly that. I mean, I would say there's a very small case of people who, there was nothing, it was completely out of their control, but most people just fuck off. Like, say even someone like Justin Roiland, I bet you if he was fucking like, fuck no, I'm not going anywhere, like Adult Swim would get behind him. They'd be like, you know what? All right, we believe in you.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
But he was like, nah, fuck it. I'm gonna step. I'm out of here. He resigned from the studio too, his video game studio too, right?
Yeah, he resigned from everything basically.
Yeah, so
That's wild.
basically, so people are like, oh, I canceled. Same thing with Jenna Marbles or anything like that. I think
Jenna just dipped. She was like, all right, bye.
Was it Jenna Marbles? Was it? Am I thinking of
Jenna
the right one?
No, you're right.
No one canceled her. She just dipped. She was like, all right, well.
She left herself. So because no one would have gave a shit if she left. It was just like if she didn't, no one would have gave a shit. I mean, but she left herself, I guess. So it's you see the fucking it sucks. It sucks that shit ain't real because some people, like you said, Bill Cosby should be allowed to tour.
That's crazy.
It really is fucking nuts.
What makes it crazy is that he was like someone that I really like respected as a like a person. I had a huge amount of respect for Bill Cosby.
Why it's crazy, because if
it's
he
just
wasn't
like
that person, it wouldn't be crazy.
It's like you're Bill Cosby. You were such a light for like black comedians at such a time when we needed it, and you just suck. You really suck.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
The writing was on the wall.
I wonder what he's gonna. Do you think he's gonna?
He has to.
Like how? So the thing is, it's like how feeble
what if the stand-up go brazy though?
It won't. I have never once understood his stand-up ever. Like it's like Bill Cosby and like Tim Allen to me are just I never fucking understood it.
I feel like Bill Cosby's comedy's for parents. That's why.
Bill Cosby's comedy is very much like he just sits
for
he just sits there and tells stories, but he has like a voice that I guess is like entertaining. I don't know. I never
I've only
found
seen
much.
2 of his bits. I saw 2 bits. One of them was a bit that Carlos Mencia stole. I just saw that because they showed, oh, this is the one that he stole. And it just had to do with like, oh, you just won the Super Bowl or whatever. How do you feel? Hi, Mom. Like, that's all you have to say? Hi, Mom, after all this shit. It was like a thing, and basically Carlos stole that. And I'm like, okay, I see where he stole it from. And then it was one of him explaining how basically date rape drugs work, or it was called Spanish Fly. And he was basically talking about Spanish Fly. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. This motherfucker is just being very open about how dope this shit is. And I'm like, so it's a, what you call an open secret, right? Like, if you see all the shows, Drawn Together was one of my favorite. Where they would always kind of poke at this shit that was going on in Hollywood, and just showing that, like, back in what, 07, 05 or whatever.
05.
He called himself a sexual predator in that show with this little bit. And I'm like, it's so funny how everybody fucking knew, but they just didn't say anything.
There was an
name?
Academy Awards or something in like the late '90s, like really, really early 2000s, where Seth MacFarlane was poking fun at Harvey Weinstein on stage. Or I can't remember what the fuck he said. I can't remember what the fuck he said, but he was like, I think it was like it's a good. It's going to be a good day for all the women who don't have to pretend to like Harvey Weinstein anymore, or something. It was something like that. And that was like in the '90s, so, or like probably not in the '90s, maybe like 2003 or something. But
it was like 2005. It was like 2005, I think, because when he hosted what you call it.
Fucked up. I'm like, all of these people, nobody's saying anything. It's fucked up that culturally there has to be a movement to actually be like, oh wait, yeah, okay, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit and has been preying on a bunch of people. And I'm like, yo, nobody, y'all, none of you gonna say anything? I mean, was it like this at our jobs? You know, regular jobs that we worked and shit. If there was somebody that was like,
it wasn't. That's crazy.
I mean, but would you just say nothing?
Absolutely not. I'd be like, that's wild. You'd be
like, no, fuck you, man. I'm not working with this guy. Like, you fucking dime him out immediately. Be like, there's a guy that's fucking raping all these chicks. Yeah. If the manager didn't do shit, then I would quit for sure.
I would quit with the fastness. I would quit with the quickness.
I mean, I would quit if they weren't going to do anything about it.
I can't be near shit like that. I get out of there ASAP, Rocky.
No, you get the criminal out. You don't fucking leave first.
I would call him out. I'd be like, yo, this guy's wilding. Do you not see what he's doing? And then I would dip.
He flips it on you. Actually,
I mean, that's a little unrealistic.
It was Kingston that was fucking actually doing it. I saw it all, man. We went to this party and Kingston was, and they
that would be crazy. That'd be crazy because the people that would believe that, if anyone believed that, would break my heart. That would just break my spirit if someone believed that shit. I'm like,
he is big and intimidating, you know, like he probably can force himself on me. I mean, go ahead. Next question.
He does seem like the kind of person that would do that simply because of the hue of his skin.
This name is just a bunch of emoticons. I'm not going to read this. I'm sorry. Like I don't know how you expect me to read this. But he wrote in. He said, "Hello, Chris Sweeney, Derek. What the fuck is this? Who's most fascinating?" Guys, you gotta write. You gotta write.
Proofread.
Who's most fascinating celebrity meltdown? My opinion is that Ezra Miller and Kanye West. It's hard to choose. Ezra Miller shit is hilarious because
it's funny because he's like an anti-hero.
It's funny because he's just like I'm kind of non-binary, so like I could kind of do whatever. Like he really is like this emblematic. Because I think of all the people who like, because I know the DC thing is happening, right? Where like all these heroes are being rebooted, Henry Cavill's out, and all these people are out. All these people are out. But I think DC was like, yeah, we might keep Ezra. And it's like,
they're still doing
bro,
that. They're still doing it.
Ezra Miller's a literal villain.
He is, and it was weird seeing people complain about them, and I emphasis on that because there were people being mad, calling him he, when they're complaining about Ezra being a fucking degenerate, right? But they were complaining that you weren't addressing them properly. And I'm like, that's the thing that you have a fucking problem with? Not that he's terrorizing the fucking people of Hawaii?
Not that he's cutting up in Hawaii. It's the, you guys are not defining them correctly.
You're not
it's
saying,
like,
I was like, that's crazy. Like, not for a criminal, I mean, come on. Let's make an exception for the criminal. That right now the people are trying to, they're not going out of their way to
maybe the most
use their pronouns.
The most accurate possible detailing of the situation probably isn't the most important part of this. It's wild.
I gotta say, man. Okay, so Kanye's was pretty fucking legendary, but I gotta give, because Kanye's was it was too cartoonish. So there's parts of it that I'm like, it's a little bit too over the top. But I think the perfect temperature is Mel Gibson. I think there's nothing better.
Ooh, Mel Gibson's a classic, though. That's why.
And the craziest thing is that everybody, I mean, dude, people skipped Mel Gibson and they went to who was the racist cowboy that Pilgrim, called everyone Pilgrim. What's his name?
The East. You're not talking about Eastwood, right?
No, not Clint Eastwood. Like John Wayne. So
yeah.
People they skipped Mel Gibson and they went to John Wayne. John Wayne's been dead for forever. And they were like, they were pulling up things. There were people trying to quote unquote cancel. That was a whole thing that was happening. People are pulling up racist things. Oh, you think that guy, that old guy that played cowboys, you think he's racist?
Now wait
Shocker.
a minute. You're telling me John Wayne?
Wait 1 minute. Wait one darn 2 minute.
When was John Wayne born? Let me see.
He was probably born in like 1900.
He was probably born when it was fine to talk to us like that.
He was probably
John
born
Wayne,
in like either 1890 or like 1900.
John Wayne was 10 years old in 1917. So
that's crazy.
I mean, maybe
like, to be surprised this guy.
Look,
you're surprised that John Wayne's a bit racist? Whoa, really?
Is all he like his cowboy roles where he's just like he embodies
terrorizing natives.
There's such a bizarre
terrorizing natives.
There's such a bizarre.
He played a Native American too in one movie.
There's such hilarious. A bizarre implication with all this stuff, right? Where it's like, do you really believe? like, what is your expectation of the past? Like, what do people expect the past to be like? If they look up John Wayne's, like, I don't know, interviews or statements and they're like, oh, I can't believe he said that. It's like, are you dumb? Are you stupid? Like, what can't you believe about that? Like, it feels like people don't understand what time is. Also, Sweeney, are you all right?
Yeah.
You're breathing wildly heavy into the mic.
Oh, my bad.
I want a doctor in the audience to diagnose Sweeney just through his breaths. See if there's something wrong.
I don't know. Simple dying.
Bashes his head on the fucking
simple dying.
Simple dying. I don't know, man.
But what? So
Mel Gibson's a good one.
Mel Gibson, which is insane. I can't believe they skipped Mel Gibson. There was no one talks about his Jew rants, which is like great, but which was way better was him screaming at his girlfriend or whatever.
Called it an N-word, right?
This classic line. I
Yes.
hope you get. I just want to say I love using the R, the capital. So I hope you get R'd by a pack of N's. Like that's legendary. There's nothing better than that. That is extreme racism.
That is so fucking tickle me pink fucking rude.
A pack, and there's nothing. It's legendary.
A pack.
So racist. It's just so funny.
It is astonishingly racist for just out of nowhere.
That brings me such happiness, even though it shouldn't.
What do you got, Chris? Who do you think's has a goated?
Man, I don't know. Like I think Kanye is next level. Like Kanye is like the most insane thing I've ever seen, bar none. But I'm kind of with you, where it's like it's too much. My favorite one personally is Kramer at the Laugh Factory. Like Kramer at the Laugh Factory is so funny because I like it just didn't need to happen. There was never what also blows me away about it too is like it never happened before that. You know what I mean? Like there were never any interviews about like, oh, Michael Richards has this, you know, concerning belief or refers to people that, like, that was never like a thing with him before, and it was never a thing with him after. It was just this. It was like he was possessed.
He was just upset. He was just upset, genuinely and fully.
I firmly believe because even myself, I am not a racist, hateful person at all. But like, say in traffic, for example, somebody does something really dangerous. I look and see what they are, and then I channel on whatever they are. You are the biggest dumb cunt ever. You know, you're an old piece of shit. You're now your skin tone. And I always laugh afterwards. It makes me feel better. Especially if it's somebody who's black. Because then I'll say something racist and it makes me laugh because I'm like, that's what somebody would say to me. You know, like it's just...
You're out of your fucking mind, Derek.
I'm not, because I literally was just listening to you play fucking Destiny. And you do the exact same thing.
Whoa. First of all, you're revealing things off camera, but all right, cool. I guess that's what we're at now. Cool.
Hey,
secondly,
you're gonna try it.
Secondly, Derek,
you come at the king, you best not miss, bro.
First of all, Derek, it's me. Does that surprise you? All right, you're not supposed to be like, you did it too. You're not supposed to be like, oh, I did something fucked up. Yeah, but the devil did it too. Like, no, you don't point at the worst creature.
Bro, I'm just saying, you're gonna call me out. You remember, without sin, cast the first stone. You can't throw no stones at me, bro.
Bro, you're using the biblical. That's crazy. You're fucking backed into a wall.
Anyway.
You're backed into a wall right now. You're just
anyway.
If you people only knew what he was saying. Go ahead, Chris.
It's wild.
It's wild shit. But the thing to me, it's like, you know, I love that clip because and I love what happened at like when like he went on that. I can't remember if it was David Letterman to apologize or whatever. And it was just like, it was such a sad state of affairs because like he looks so scared and sad. And like to me, it's like I sincerely, and this might totally be biased, totally admit this, but like I really genuinely don't think he believes those things. You know what I mean? I sincerely don't think.
I agree. I kind of agree.
I sincerely don't think Michael Richards is a racist person. Like I just don't believe that. I don't know why I don't believe that.
That was the whole. No, you don't believe that's what my tangent was about. That is, sometimes when you get so mad, you just zero in on what the person is and you try to hurt them as much as possible. I never say shit like that to people's faces. That's what I'm just saying. In a car, by myself, I will say something and then I think it's funny afterwards because of how over the top it is.
Right. But like I love that. I love that whole thing because it happened out of nowhere. It was totally unexpected. It never happened again. And then the way that they made fun of it on Curb Your Enthusiasm was legendary. Like
Curb used it perfectly.
The legendary, like, I don't know if anybody has seen. I forget what season. I think it might be 7 or 8. Like I don't remember what season of Curb Your Enthusiasm this was. But if anybody hasn't seen the Seinfeld reunion season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, watch it because they address the Michael Richards situation, and it is some of the funniest shit I have seen in a long, long time.
It is really fucking funny.
But
it is really funny.
But yeah, I think that's the one.
I would have to agree. I would have to agree that one is the funniest one. Kanye's just feels magical. It feels like Kanye's feels magical, but also the breadcrumbs were there. You know.
The thing to me with Kanye is that the thing with Kanye is that it's almost like a we don't know where Kanye is right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
he was seen on camera recently.
I don't know, man. I haven't seen that.
With some chick. I think he's dating some.
Well, no, it was him leaving. It was him leaving the the Kardashian home, dropping off the kids.
Oh, okay.
Oh well, yeah, whatever. But so
I guess things are. Someone finally made talk sense into him, I guess. Hey,
or it's a body double.
Or people were just like, we're done having you on here, yo. You're wildin'. That's what it is. Like people were just like, let's just.
No, that's bullshit. Because if Kanye called us up and said, "Hey, I want to go on Snark Tank," we would have him.
I wouldn't want him on her podcast, but you guys would have him, and I would lose the vote. I would lose the vote.
We would have him.
But you would have him.
He would take your place.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I couldn't. I'd be fine with that. I could not. I could not talk to him because I'll cry for real on camera, and that'll be sad.
Exclusive Kanye Snark Tank interview. Kanye makes Kingston cry. Exclusive. Exclusive to the Patreon. I wouldn't be on
episode. I would not be on episode.
He would
tell not.
You need to. He's like, Sweeney's my favorite. I really hope. I can't wait to talk to him.
That would kill me. You guys think this is funny? Like, this is a joke, right? Because it is hilarious what he did and what he went through, right? It is kind of funny, but you guys don't get that I would for real cry if I spoke to him and he meant that shit. That would kill me. That'd make my heart shatter, and I'd be like, "Wow, Kanye, you were like one of my heroes once."
It's just look, man. Like I feel like the whole 400 years thing when he was on TMZ. Like, all of that stuff it still seemed real. Like, it was insane, but it was within the realm of,
that thing was just
like,
contextually,
reality.
He wasn't explaining himself well, and though it was still stupid.
It's stupid.
It was still stupid. It was just out of a horrible context.
In this cartoony thing that he's doing now, like I don't even know about, I don't even talk about, but it's just like the whole thing about how much he loved. It still doesn't
that's unbelievable.
It still doesn't feel real.
I agree.
That's the only part where I can't latch onto it. Where I'm like, when I think about it, I'm like, that happened. It's not like
no one photoshopped that. No one photoshopped that.
Mel Gibson. It's real, and it's like that. I still can believe. I don't believe Michael Richards is a racist, but I still believe that he did it. Man,
right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Michael Richards is so funny because it's just like it's Kramer too. It's Kramer. That's what makes it funnier.
That's what's so awesome. It's like
Kramer. Kramer's character is so oblivious and like not hateful at all in that show. And then like Michael Richards just wows out. It is like, what is this?
Have you guys ever seen this classic this I'm talking like this is maybe like 2011. I'm talking like maybe at the latest, this fantastic edit called, I think it's Seinfeld the Lost Episode, and it's about Kramer at the Laugh Factory, and they edit all of these. It's like a really crudely edited together episode, but there's like these great, it's like a 5-minute edit that makes all of these scenes from Seinfeld work in the context of Kramer going on stand-up and doing that thing at the Laugh Factory, and it is so fucking funny because there's like so many lines from Seinfeld that fit in perfectly. It's like, I guess I screwed up, and just like all of these like, and then there's this one episode where they tie it in. There's an episode where Kramer goes to the zoo and gets into a fight with a monkey, and there's it's Kramer just going like, why do I have to apologize to the monkey? And it's just like all of these, dude. It is so fucking good.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
I wonder if it's up. Let me look for it. Let me look for it to make sure it's Seinfeld.
I feel like it probably still is.
Lost episode.
It's so funny. It's insane.
10 years ago.
Like, what the fuck is happening?
No, wait.
Download that shit,
no, it's
man.
not. Wait, where is it? Yeah. I see it. It's by a YouTube.
Preserve it, man.
Yeah, I got to preserve it. It's by a YouTube channel called Ask Questions. It's 16 years ago this was uploaded, so it's fucking.
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah, here I'll put it in the chat so you guys, so Derek, you can put it in your fucking history or whatever. But it's like a 3-minute edit, and it's just so damn funny. But all right, we're good. We're gonna read the patrons now. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry for this segmented episode. It's a little weird, but deal with it. Deal
with it.
Yeah. So count me down.
3, 2,
Joe, the
1.
official process operator of the Snark Tank Oil and Gas Company.
You black bastard.
Piss bed.
Fuck you.
Domo Nation, average clit energy. What is a PDF file, and why is everyone mad at my uncle? Sweeney is my...
Oh, my God.
Sweeney is secretly a drag queen. Famous live streamer Germa 985 slowly sinking his fingers into your neck and scooping your central nervous system out. That is scary.
That sounds really scary.
That sounds fucking scary. Now the thing about Germa is who really is Germa at the end of the day? The Scorpion King. The Scorpion King was an interesting film, but what does it mean to be a king? And what are scorpions if not a society of individuals?
I paid.
Not bad.
I paid. It's all it is. I paid Chris to call my friend pregnant. What? I didn't get this money or request.
I didn't get this money. You didn't pay me, nigga. You didn't pay me.
Yeah. I don't mean metaphorically or rhetorically or poetically or theoretically or any other fancy way. I'm gay straight up.
That is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life.
It's not a bad one.
That is one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Yeah,
He's just outright telling.
I can tell by how hard you're laughing.
He's just saying I'm gay. Nothing else. No jokes. No fucking sham.
A urethra that can only be compared to penne, but my cock is still small. If pussy was so good, how come there ain't a pussy too? Scream Team, Clit Yeastwood, Transfem Gremlin, can Logan Paul abandon a million pigs? My sexual awakening was the quirky goth girl from NCIS, and now my taste in women is ruined. Big Apple, 3 a.m. Squishy and his 4 big cums. The angelic dungeon master who is trying to convince the rogue that robbing the king of haphazard is a terrible idea. Dr. 8 PhD, very smart. Craig the Canadian. It's your boy Shawnee D. Isaac Clarke kicking the shit out of Mutant Baby since 2008. Matt Walsh is a hero. By the way, I beat Dead Space. Fantastic. Going through again on New Game Plus, and apparently there's like new endings and shit.
Oh, cool.
So it's There's new shit that happens in your second. There's new shit that happens in your New Game Plus if you play it again.
That's pretty crazy. I guess I gotta get that game. Fuck it.
It's really fucking good. Highly recommended. Matt Walsh is a hero of our time. Sweet baby gang for life. Come man, the man of Kung. Indie butter knife on YouTube. Happy endings. Smoke shops. You smoke them, we stroke them. What's with these homies dissing my girl? A Lego TIE Fighter glazed with cum. 3XO and the perpetual Twitch stream of procedurally generated Seinfeld episodes that my friend showed me. That is real. I think I want to do a video on it. There's this AI that's doing procedurally generated Seinfeld episodes with this like really weird like 3D animated Jerry telling like AI jokes. It's fucking crazy. Watch Me Forever on Twitch, I think it's called. Sweeney, quickly, there's a Twitter account called Sweeney's Guide. Go there, scan the code to see a video. Way to skip my name. Slapping, eating, stroking, gulping, emoticons going like this. Stormboy's life and what he liked. Dramatic. Call her Lil Caesars, the way her pussy hot and ready. Drip MH, Lord of Drip. Nancy Pelosi killing a Palestinian with her master teats. Only won't you Obi won't you blow me. I have resurrected from the ashes of Sweeney Swamp Ass. Kremlin the Gremlin. What's up? What up, my baziggas? I'm Black Sheldon Cooper from Gang Theory, and you're watching Konami. All's the wall. Okay, you said it right. Avi. Baziggas is so fucking funny. Welcome to Andrew Tate's Kidnap Women, Little Dick Emporium. Fragile Masculinity sold separately. Why the fuck did Onimusha 3 have us time travel to modern day France? Next game had the Spanish and Japan. Silly ass games. I don't remember those games at all.
Onimusha 3 is so fucking good. They need a full remake for that one.
I don't even know what that game is.
You've never played
Onimusha Warlords?
Nope, never.
Bro, get it on Steam. It's like $20.
Is it good? What is it about?
Rules. It's about feudal Japan with its own spin and demons and shit. But it's like Samnosuke Akachi, Oda Nobunaga, Hideyoshi.
Ooh.
It's like feudal Japan. It's It's the fucking dude. 3 is like 1 on steroids. It has John Reno, that French fucking actor.
Really?
Dude, it's so good. And then fucking I just gotta say, Donnie Yen. You know Donnie Yen, right?
Of course.
He fucking helped do choreography for the game. Dude,
That's
it's a fucking
cool.
masterpiece. It's such a good game.
Colin loves Onimusha.
It's so good. But Onimusha 3, anyone. It's such a fucking great game. You can download it on PC for free too. Just let you know.
Witch Slave 583, Pussy and Tim's The Last Crip, I Feel Gay, Fuck You. The Papini Brothers Emporium of Obama's Let's Play Clips, Pause. Culturally Unaware Snake. Fun fact, Oxford's 2022 Word of the Year is Goblin Mode. Use this in a thesis paper and not look like a dipshit. Have a nice day. That's insane. Tell him, Steve Dave. Yakuza Like a Dragon is $70 off. Should I buy it? Yes.
$70 off?
$70 off. Like, I don't even know, like, 70%, I guess. Sorry.
I was like, wait, how much does it cost?
What does it cost? Did they give you $10?
Yeah, like, first of all, how much is that game? How much is that game that I didn't realize that I paid that much money for it? But, yeah, no, 70% off for Yakuza Like a Dragon? Absolutely. Yakuza Like a Dragon's awesome.
Good game,
That's
very
like
good game.
endless content. That's like endless content.
It's a long game, too, yeah. It's easily like 100 hours if you're willing to put that time in.
That's crazy.
A reboot of the Bible where Jesus is black and trans and disabled.
Damn.
I saw this video recently.
Can Jesus not be disabled? He can heal himself.
I saw this video recently complaining about like woke Spider-Man because they had like a fucking Into the Spider-Verse thing where like they were just going to different universes and there was like this crippled Spider-Man who shoots web out of the canes. I thought that was fucking funny, by the way. I know I'm not supposed to think that's funny, but it's hilarious to me. But
it is funny.
But like it's just a Spider-Verse thing, so it's like whatever. Like the whole point is that it's like alternate universes, and it's not really that big of a fucking deal.
Is everybody crippled in that universe though?
That would be fucking hilarious. It's a crippled universe.
Is that how it works, or is it like this crippled guy became a hero?
No, but, one of the arguments was like you don't see us going back and making Hercules gay, and it's like, bro.
He probably was.
I got some bad news about all Greeks. I got some bad news about every Greek that exists.
Yo,
Greek.
You know that Greek loving is butt sex is called Greek loving. Like that's a thing.
Yeah, it's actually I learned this.
It's a thing.
My friend taught me all these lingo stuff. If you see an ad that says no Greek, that means no anal.
Yeah, literally.
I thought that was the funniest thing.
I had a Greek ex-girlfriend, and she told me that particularly, and I was like, "That's crazy." So can we? And then you know.
Yeah. It's funny though because like
that ruined it.
That's funny though because it's like I'm not huge on Greek. I'm more into Norse stuff, but like I'm pretty certain that. I'm pretty certain that Hercules isn't exactly like straight necessarily. I'm pretty sure like there's accounts of like male lovers that Hercules
I don't know about accounts, but I do know based on Greek culture.
He's not a real person. He's not a real person, so there's no accounts of anything. But I mean, like,
historically, mythologically, yeah,
mythologically, I would bet a lot of money on the fact that Hercules in Greek mythology had fucked a lot of guys. Like, I would put all my fucking money on that. I don't know anything about Greek mythology.
He didn't fuck guys. He fucked that lion that he killed. He didn't fuck guys. He fucked that giant lion.
He didn't fuck guys. He just fucked children lions. He just fucked little kid lions. That's all he did. Not a big fucking deal.
Stop being so fucking weird about shit, man. God damn, I hate Americans.
Stop being so fucking Greek.
And the guy's jaw extrudes and goes over his nose.
Ew.
He can bite over his nose.
All right, what was I? Where the fuck was I? God is alive because Andrew Tate is going to be caked and come in prison soon. John Strickland, burp, Morty. The truth is, I love beating my wife while texting minors, Morty. That's why she died. Merck's 1889. Every day I wake up against my fucking will. The first church of Keith David. There are consequences to saying the N-word. This podcast is just an excuse for Chris to talk over black people as a job. Absolutely.
That's very true.
Holy shit. I ran over my PTO by getting COVID instead of with my 2003 Silverado. My only symptom is rage. Pre-Ross. Blake896. Ashlet's Lasso of Truth. It also makes you racist. Fucking kill me. That's a fucking lot. Now I can't listen to the two worlds, one family from Phil Collins without getting a massive erection. Obadiah titty sprinkles. It's so stupid. Lennon got murdered because he co-wrote a song about women being Edwards. Yes, he was. Think about it. I don't know.
That's why he got murdered?
God Christ. Athletic, short-haired tomboys are the superior race of women. La Poopy, which roughly translates to English as the Poopy. Blocked by Steve Shives. Alaskan oil field trash. She sells by the seashore. And she sells by the seafloor, whatever. Sue Hulk. Danny DeVito fucked Matt Walsh to death. It was consensual. The Gout Law. Nikki Ziggy. The Coltrane using Maria's severed head as a thrash ball in PTSD hallucination. Lobotomized Jesus, much like Jeffrey Epstein, loves all the little children. Cum eater, the bottom feeder, the illest femboy to ever shaft the Sween's wiener. The Clitorium Emporium. I like to chew on Jolly Ranchers. Jackson DuPont. Bradley Brave. Hugger Derek now has a bachelor's degree. Congrats. But Jewish Kirby crying at the YouTube comments for air ride item bounce. Aetherian. Chris Gate, my Bajillion hunting ass. Melphis 1 Hexblade Warlock is now retired. Swashbuckler Rogue is my best friend. And as always, running out our list, King of Haphazard. Bye.